That's funny.
He's like, I gotta go to bed. Like
That is funny.
So it hit different.
Yeah.
Like,
That's dope, man. You trying to see if it's straight?
yeah, it's straight. It's good.
Yeah, it's straight.
And like, just the different demographics of people that are like commenting and like, oh,
Yeah.
you got something. I had a dude from the other side
Word.
hit me up like, hey, I don't even like y'all.
You gotta love it.
I don't even like y'all. But y'all got something with this. Oh, so that shit had me dying. I was like, damn, thank you.
Right. I don't know which part to. Right.
I guess you'll see me when you see me. But
I'm not looking forward to that.
oh, so all right, y'all. So this is episode 2, Relatable podcast with Luck and Rios.
Is it recording?
Yeah, it's recording.
I'll
It's
see
been
it
recording
moving.
the whole time.
Really?
It's on the red. So and then you can see the mics are recording right there.
With the sound over there. Okay.
And
Got
so
it.
we've been live. That's called in the professional world of realistic podcasting. That's called BTS,
Okay.
by the side.
That's crazy because BTS means something else also.
What does it else mean?
Behind the scenes.
Yes, that's what I meant to say. Behind the scenes. BT. So this is Relatable. This is I'm a co-host. This is the co-host. This is our show. It's Relatable. And we got some amazing feedback from the first episode.
Yeah.
Loving all the feedback, loving all the constructive criticism, the advice. Try to turn the mics up this time. You said something about the mic was a little bit low when you were listening to it, right?
Yeah, a little bit. I was lowered. Yep.
So I turned it up some. We're taking all feedback. We are just getting started. This is the beginning.
Yeah.
And it's turning into what it's turning into organically and naturally. We're not forcing anything. So we're just here, man. What kind of feedback? How do you feel about it?
I feel great. I was reading a lot of the comments. I do read comments. I'm not one of those guys who don't read the comments. I'm okay with hate. I'm okay with everything. I learn from a lot of it. So I think what's cool about it is what I was thinking when we after we did reality check.
Right.
And what we can do together. The people were confirming what I thought about us, our chemistry on camera.
Right.
And I was telling Rios off camera that what's cool about it is I have a kind of like in my head I laugh at my own jokes.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I only get me, and a lot of people don't get me, right? But when I sit down with Rios, when I sit down with you,
Yeah.
like I can say something wild and crazy, and then you're there already.
Right. It's probably because I'm
Instead of-
intelligent.
Maybe. No, but
I wasn't thinking that,
but no,
but no, you're 100% right.
no, but yeah, the chemistry is fire, and I think that what's cool is we can go from talking serious about our lives and marriage and being fathers and all that, and also make joke and clown and
Yeah.
stuff. And I think we can be all those things. So it's hard to just live in one space as you and I,
Yeah.
right? To have a podcast that's all serious or a podcast that's all jokes. We got to be multifaceted to be able to do it all because we're all those things.
Because then you're boxed in to have to perform this way.
Exactly.
And force this. Hey,
Exactly.
we just going where we go. This is, you'll get what you get. You may get serious. You may get some jokes in between. But I bring it up to our background, our upbringing. You know what I mean? Like we wasn't raised in no soft area. You know what I mean?
And
so
you had to be everything.
You had to be
You had
everything.
to be. Me, I had to be.
Multifaceted, right?
For sure. I had to be, serious because of, life is serious.
Right.
You know what I mean? But also, I was always a big dude. So I had to have jokes.
Yeah.
I had to be funny because, fat jokes is the most jokes ever. Like I said that in the last podcast. So I had to be quick with it and be sharp with the tongue to know, and pause on that. I really don't, but
It's
yeah,
all good,
pause on
yeah.
that, But I had to be quick with it to be sharp. So it's cool that I can sit down, be comfortable here, and then literally talk to you about anything, and it will be received well. And then the bounce back is always special. So watching the podcast, because I watch my own podcast to see how I can do better and
Yeah,
be
of
better.
course.
I really enjoyed our first episode of Relatable, and I also enjoyed when I was on Reality Check with you.
Right.
So I think I'm looking forward to, and I think from a lot of the people where they're saying they're looking forward to seeing us do more of this.
Exactly.
And I know we've been talking, so we got some really cool things in plans for the future of this podcast.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And just to go back to what you're saying about the fans, their feedback and what they were saying, and they were really surprised that someone of my stature was able to get you. You know, like they were very like, how did you pull off that?
That's that's crazy.
How did you pull that off?
That's crazy.
How did you get luck? They're not of his caliber of talent.
But see,
I was like, hey, that's very humbling.
That's right. Thank you. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you. I was feeling myself a little bit.
If I wasn't going to kill myself, then now's the time.
Let me go ahead and call Luck and tell him thank you again for allowing me to be in his presence. I appreciate that.
But I think you know what though? That's just a testament to sometimes you also need your own space. Right. So we operate in certain spaces and they view us as a certain thing. But if they knew you and if they knew how good we bounce off each other with jokes and conversation, it makes sense.
Right.
Instead of it like, well, how did that happen? Because they obviously, or people who do know me, only view me as a rapper who rapped about a certain thing.
Right.
Or certain things. So for people to hear me on a podcast for the first time and may think, oh, he's cool, or he got a lot more to talk about, or he's funny.
Right.
They wouldn't have gotten none of that from just me in the music for the most part of my earlier career.
Right.
So it's just us getting into like these new stages, new levels in our life where we're just showing, being more open and vulnerable to who we actually are as men.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So it works out.
So on that note, how you doing, brother? How you feeling?
I'm good. Like I said, I'm excited to be here. Ready for this. Whatever this is going to be.
Yeah.
I think I don't have my expectations just for us to be consistent.
Yeah.
That's my only expectation. Other than that, I'm excited because I already feel like it's going to do whatever it's supposed to do. Whether like being received well, people think it's hilarious, put us in bigger spaces, different spaces. I'm excited for that, but I'm not expecting that. I always been like a just go with it kind of guy. So I'm good though. As far as today, I'm good. I'm in a good mental space. I'm just trying to figure it out. Figure out my next thing in life and what I'm supposed to be doing. But as a creative, I just keep creating.
Oh, I seen the YouTube page.
I have a YouTube page, yeah, for sure.
Good Luck TV.
Good Luck TV. I have my YouTube page.
Subscribe, like, you guys go there. Subscribe. Good Luck TV. Vlogging.
I'm vlogging, and I'm showing. I was trying to figure out like what do I want to talk about on my vlog. What I want to do? Do I want to show my family? Or I want to show But I think I've gotten to the point where. Look, I'm a 44. I'll be 45 in November.
Right.
I'm a mid 40-year-old husband, father, man of God, musician, songwriter that is just figuring out life, and it's not too late. And people think when you get to your 40s and 50s, like, okay, life is almost over. No, life is really just starting, depending on how you live it and how you look at it. So, me starting a vlog is like a new creative thing I'm doing. Now, maybe I could talk to other people who are in their 40s who are trying to look for something to do, a release, a creative way to release, and maybe vlogging or YouTube it can be that thing. So I want to show people that how to be creative and let people more in on my life. Maybe get a little more personal. Yeah, and show things that maybe they haven't saw. Me and my family interacting out in the world or whatever the case may be. So I've been really excited to do my vlogs also. So I'm excited, and you know how it's a slow but grow process. It's like numbers will be low at the beginning, but that's not nothing I focus on.
Right. If you're doing it for the numbers, you're in the wrong spot.
Yeah, you're gonna hurt yourself with that.
You're gonna hurt yourself. And I think vlogging is like a really good thing, because it helps like the viewers, the consumers get more invested in who you are as a person. Yeah. And like they feel more of a part. Like, okay, this dude is being open, vulnerable. This is what I can invest in. You know what I mean? Not somebody who's just being a character on camera and just doing the shits and giggles. Like this dude cares enough about what he's doing or his mission or message to that he'll put himself out there
For sure.
for us to watch and for us to critique.
People can feel someone not being authentic. Yeah, it's funny. Me and my friend was talking yesterday, and we were talking about a lot of the guys who do people who do food reviews.
Yes.
Right? It's tons of people who do go out and go eat somewhere and do a review about the stuff. And we were talking about how...
Are you a foodie?
I am a foodie, for
Okay,
sure.
me too.
100%.
Okay.
And the conversation started because my guy was telling me I should do something like that.
Okay.
And, I'm still like, I don't really know it because I don't want to be holding to every time I go eat, I need to do that.
Yeah,
Or I want to do
yeah.
that. I don't want to feel like I'm doing that. But also, I don't want to do the thing where we talked about how a lot of these people, they do these interviews and then they turn on the vlog voice or whatever that is.
The switch up, the code switch.
Yeah, so they all of a sudden they're in front of the burger spot. They're like, "Hey, I'm here to try the new such and such and see if they can like the." And I'm like, "Who is
Welcome
that?"
to this. It's a lucky
Welcome to
luck.
this. That was incredible, and I can't believe that over breathing and food all over the mouth. And I'm like, fam, you don't even eat like that.
That's not even how you operate.
That's not even how you talk in real life.
Right.
And I think people are seeing that, and it's coming off as corny because it's not authentic, and we can kind of tell.
Yeah.
Now they may have the numbers, but I wonder what the numbers would look like if they just were doing that, but doing them.
Right.
That probably would, So I think back to our point about vlogging. My thing is I want to do my vlogs in a way where it's truly authentic to who I am, where I don't get up there and you hear the Luck doing the vlog voice. You're like, bro, I sit with you every week. You don't even talk like that. What are you doing?
What?
I don't.
Like, oh shit.
Yeah, I don't know. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, but anyway, how have you been?
I've been good, man. I've been good. I've been joyful, happy with what is being created here.
Okay.
in the space, because for a while I didn't know the direction or what I actually necessarily wanted to pursue. You know, and so
in podcasting,
and streaming, or what I was going to make out of my opportunity with Pun. You know what I mean? Like Pun is creating a platform for niggas to eat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, and so I don't know if I was fearful or if I was thinking like, damn, if I don't do nothing with this opportunity that is being presented to me,
it's right there.
I'm gonna feel like a failure.
Yeah.
And also sacrifice. And you would be
a failure. Yeah.
Because also on another level, you're sacrificing a lot of time on Friday nights that you could be with your family.
Yeah.
So you
probably already looks at you as a failure.
Exactly. And I do sometimes too. Like, fuck. What did I just do? Not again, Rios. Not again.
Not again. No,
Not again.
No, but I totally feel that. The sacrifice that come with that, with Pun creating a space for people to eat and is there for you. Real quick, you reminded me of when I first signed to Snoop, it was 2007, 2008.
Okay.
A group Western Union with my man Damani and Superfly. And Snoop told us, like, yo, y'all can get a couple of albums out of me. We gonna go on tour a couple of times. You're gonna make a lot of money. But but I'm also an artist. I am who I am.
Right.
So whatever you got to do to use me in any way you want to, do that. So he was telling me in the same sense, kind of like Pun has created a platform for us to eat. I've set the groundwork for all of us to go out here and make a killing in this space.
It's on you.
So
now.
it's on you to do it after that. I've set the groundwork. We got connects. We got deals with people, get equipment, streaming. You got a fan base already for you. Because everybody can't go from one platform and then move on to another and have all subscribers already.
Right.
That's a gift.
That's a gift.
I mean, so what are you going to do with that gift? So I understand that in that space of like, yeah, and y'all are creative. Here, what we talk about, I talk about this a lot where I tell people, stop overthinking. We tend to think that we have no value to offer, nothing to talk about, and nobody want to hear what you have to say.
Right.
And I'm like, no, that's far from the truth. It's only one Rios. Meaning, like, if I want to hear the way he lays out any kind of message, game, value, talk about fatherhood, parenting, his childhood, being a husband, being a podcaster, a content creator, you have so much to offer people. So to think nobody doesn't want to see that would be ignorant.
Right.
It's ridiculous. I'm on YouTube every day. I'm looking at vlogs of people I never met in my life.
Right.
Just figuring out stuff, learning stuff, how to do this, how to do that. What's it like being monetized? What happens when you are monetized? What does that look like? What's the goal for after that happens? What do you need to do? Why is thumbnails important? Why are they not important? I'm looking at all these things.
What makes a thumbnail pop out? What makes a title stand out?
But all this I'm learning from people I have no clue or ever met in my life. So for somebody to come on my page and find my page from somewhere and like, yo, or think about this. I think I talked about this on another. I don't know if it was one of my vlogs or something. I talked about how people get so into the numbers, right?
Yeah.
About they feel a way about you got low numbers. You do a video and then there's maybe 100 views.
Yeah.
You may do a video that's 200 views, right? But you may be used to maybe doing Ace Boys and it'd be 15,000 views in a day.
Right.
Or 40,000 views over a week or something like that. And it can mess with you. You like, man, 200 views and
mess with your
you may
psyche.
get 5 comments. You like, dude, I don't really see. And I'm like, well, I think you're looking at it all wrong. First of all, there's growth, right? But let's look at it like this. If you change your perspective on how to look at it, if 200 people showed up to your house right now.
Oh yeah.
I'm talking about that, right?
Yeah.
So that's the if you change the perspective of how you look at that, then it could sustain you.
Right.
You like, I'm looking at it different. I'm doing the whole comparing thing.
That's the enemy.
That's the enemy, right? So if I think more of us, our peers, should be creating channels, should be creating platforms and stuff like that to do, because this can also lead to, not that this is the goal, but it could be a goal. This can also lead to financial freedom.
Absolutely.
Right? You know, if we do what we do for work already, I do a bunch of stuff. I do Uber, I do a bunch of stuff for work. But if I got if I can get somewhere where I can make an extra 2,000 to 3,000 to 4,000, whatever a month,
right,
from setting up my camera that I already have and talking in a camera for anywhere from 5 to 20 minutes.
No script, don't have to remember nothing. You mean just sit here and be me?
You mean I could just do that and make that? I could essentially. I mean, eventually I could make that. That's a possibility, maybe. Then I'm going to do that, and
right.
I think a lot of people should take advantage of that, who are in the quote unquote rat race of the 9 to 5. You know what I mean?
Well, look at me. I put my 9 to 5 away. I'm done with the 9 to 5.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Congrats.
I put the 9 to 5 away, invested. Well, I had already been investing in all this stuff.
Yeah.
And just like making that move, like, you know what? I'm going to bet on myself. Yep. You know what I mean? And
go hard.
You touched on it a little bit about how if you can let self-doubt creep in and you comparing yourself to, you're trying to play basketball in high school, you compare yourself to LeBron.
Yeah,
or you're doing this and that, and you're trying to compare yourself to the top. But how about you compare yourself to yourself yesterday? What are you doing today?
Way better. I like that.
You know what I mean?
I like that.
Compare yourself to yourself.
Yeah.
How am I better than I was yesterday?
For sure.
You know what I mean? Oh, you know what? And you can still be honest and hold yourself accountable. You know what? Yesterday I went harder. I went harder yesterday than I did today.
So I got to go harder today, or tomorrow I'm going to go even harder.
Or even harder. You know what I mean? No way am I going to go beneath.
Right.
You know what I mean? You start setting yourself a standard of growing as a person, being more productive in your natural walk.
I like that.
And so now I'm like learning these cameras, learning these setups, learning, like, I'm getting better at editing, where do you want to get better at editing? But it's like, you're not going to be the best at the beginning.
No.
You're not going to be the best at the beginning.
No.
Even at the end, you were still growing. Even if you pass away in 50 years, you still were getting better.
I do a thing where I go and watch one of my favorite content creators. Hands down one of my favorites is Peter McKinnon. Right. Peter McKinnon. He's a Canon shooter. He just started shooting film for like the last year.
Okay.
He's amazing content creator. He's just amazing.
Okay. I'm gonna have to look him up.
Coloring a bunch of stuff. He's ill. Right. But he is what. You probably should. You should use him as maybe like inspiration.
What's possible?
But it's a possibility to get eventually here. But what I use that to say, some of your biggest influence, Casey Neistat, Mr. Beast, a guy like Peter McKinnon, right? Now Mr. Beast is the top of the creme de la creme,
top
right?
of the food chain,
right? So, but what I do is I go to their first videos.
Okay.
I go to their channel. I go all the way down to their very first maybe year, and I'm like, okay, this is where reality is.
Exactly.
Reality isn't where Mr. Beast is now. I'm not saying that nobody can get there because you can, but it's hard to digest that when you're a new user.
Yeah.
Trying to look at somebody with millions of views to say I want to, But if you go look at Mr. Beast's earlier page or a guy like Peter McKinnon, you look at him 8 years ago when the color wasn't that good.
The audio was off a little bit.
Audio was off a little bit, and you like, oh, so 1,000 views here, or maybe 600 views here. You like, he gets almost 1 million views on a video about a camera now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or whatever. It can put reality in check for you. Like, no, just calm down.
Yeah.
Everybody has growth. Yes, there's pages that go from, no followers to 300,000 in a year because something went viral and this thing start going crazy. Yes, that does happen. But that's the very rare compared to the grand scheme of all the views on the YouTube.
Yeah.
So we got to just be calm and understand it. Right now, I'm in a new space. My videos only get my 50, 40, 100 here, maybe 500, back down to 20 some 20 views this video. Yeah, the people on YouTube in that space, my name ain't even the same on YouTube.
Right.
And if you don't come from rap, then you're not even looking for me to be doing what I'm doing on vlogging.
Yeah,
so,
it's a totally different energy,
I understand
different space.
that. Right. So I kind of put myself behind the starting line, even back further than the average person maybe. And I'm starting there, but I'm fine with that because I know the growth come with that. To get to a point like yourself, one of my goals is I want to quit. I want to not do all the other jobs that I do to make money, to sustain.
Yeah.
I want to stop doing that so I can do this stuff.
Exactly.
I want to build an empire like Pun. Hats off to Pun and AD and what they done, man. Amazing
shit.
that you guys, I'm talking about, they all come from music.
Right.
And the homies.
Right.
And they're like the guys on the West Coast when it comes to content.
I was going to say, isn't that crazy? But it's not crazy. Because I've seen them work.
For sure. I've seen it happen. We've seen it. Right? They took something and ran with it. First of all, natural born hustlers.
Right.
Right? So we got that. And T-Rail, same thing. Natural born hustlers. So for them to do what they did, and I got a front row seat to watch y'all do that, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm doing that.
Right.
It's
a blueprint out there.
It's a blueprint right there. And these the homies. I can call y'all. I'm doing a podcast with one of the homies, so I can really bounce off y'all and be like, okay, oh, that's what I need to do. Oh, that's where I should go. Or maybe that's what I should do. So
exactly.
There's no excuses at this point.
No, it's
consistency, like you said, I just got to keep going, and you'll get to wherever you need to get to, want to go.
Exactly. And I was nervous. Like, I'll say one more thing about that. Like, what I was nervous about was like making the attempt, right, and failing in front of everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that was a heavy thing too. Like, just getting into it, like, damn, it's a lot of people watching. It like if you fall into like what the Reddit says about you, and what this and that, you can really fall into a hole. But me being like as strong as I am, just individually, like,
for sure,
you can't really knock me out of my square.
Yeah,
man. But I was just like, damn. Is this like like the entrepreneur nigga? You know what I mean? Like I'm breeding dogs now. Or I got a t-shirt company.
Yeah.
You have one of your broke cousins ain't never been in real estate. Talking about, I'm going after my real estate license.
Right.
And you like see them, you like, I see you going after it, but
then here's the reverse flip side, right? The gumption to be able to do it.
Right.
When you do, if I am laughing at a cousin who always got some kind of plan, and you see those plans fail,
and they still going.
And so if I look at the cousin with the crazy plans, he always trying something, we'll figure something out. Like, and we like, there you go again, right? But then if you talk to somebody like a Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk or whatever, or Mark Cuban, and you like, how many things did you try to start before you sold your website, your program,
your PayPal,
to Yahoo, and before you came up with Tesla or Starlink or whatever you did, before you came up with Amazon, how many things did you start that failed? I bet you talk to them, they'll tell you, I don't even know, I lost count.
I can't even count how many
things that failed. Jeff Bezos, I don't know this for a fact. He probably was the crazy cousin who always putting money into something that didn't work.
Yeah.
We don't know.
We don't know.
So it's what I'm saying is that, yes, the cousin may be crazy because he just may be bad with money and management and all kind of stuff, but the gumption that he keep trying, Especially if you look at yourself and you ain't tried one thing.
The never quit.
The never quit. You at your job, you may be content, but you ain't tried nothing.
Nothing.
And
that's a great fucking point. And that's a whole different outlook than what I was even going with. Because that is amazing. Because you're a little bit smarter.
Yeah, a little bit. Depending on who you ask. You know. If you ask people, yeah.
If you ask everybody, yes. Yes, everybody probably, yeah.
No, but for real, though, it's a real way to look at it.
The gumption.
Yeah.
And the stick-to-itiveness, you know what I mean? Like, stay with it and be with it. But look at me. My outlook was completely different than that and looking at that like a failure, you know what I mean? And so just communicating that, my fear to you of what I would look like or comparing myself to, just in one instance of just you sharing how you look at it, can change a whole outlook.
Yeah. So I do that because I try to do that with myself when it comes to looking at what I deem as a success or not.
Yeah.
Because I can get down on I deal with part of me doing content creating. I got to stay creative because creativity also helps me deal with my depression. I got other ways too. Obviously, I'm a man of God and I pray and things of that. But also, staying busy, staying creative helps curb that thing of like where I feel like when I feel like my life is not moving, I'm just getting a check and then paying a bill. Getting a check, paying a bill. Getting a check, paying a bill. There's no money for like travel. There's no money for big, nice, extravagant gifts. Or I want to buy my wife a whole bunch of this and that, whatever. Sometimes it feels like it's just get the check, pay bill. Just check, pay the bill.
Just to get to the next day.
Just to get to the next day. So for me to get my mind off of that, because I understand that I'm building something to get out of that,
right?
I got to stay creative and stay on these things because I'm not building them just to scratch my creative itch. I'm also building it for financial freedom.
Absolutely.
So that helps me curb a lot of depression when I'm like, feel myself like stressing out a little bit or I'm about to feel like I'm inadequate as a man because I'm a husband and a father. And if you feel like you're not doing enough for the family, that's one of the loneliest feelings in the world.
Oh, man.
As a man, you know, so yeah, it helps. You know what I mean? So that's why I changed my perspective on how I look at things because I could kill the dude who be trying stuff, but also I look at myself like, let me tell you how motivated I am when I see things. I was at when I first did a community with AD and Pun. I did community. I'm in there with the homies. We laughing, clowning. They clown on the stream. I'm loving the followers. I'm loving how they clowning back. And I just love the whole, what they built. And then, not to put their business out there, so I'm not going to say what, but then I walk outside and then I see both of their cars. I see, now I watch Pun his whole career, you know, and AD. And I love the fact that I saw that. I'm like,
yeah, nigga, let's go.
And Pride pulled up, he had a brand new car. And I'm like, damn, like y'all doing it.
Killing it.
And I love how y'all doing it. Y'all doing it with the homies. Y'all built something dope. Dude, if you don't respect nothing else, you got to respect that.
Right.
They have done something. They've shifted gears, something that ain't got nothing to do with music, technically, and created an infrastructure for themselves that is paying for them to buy cars and to pay bills, take their lady, do nice stuff with their women or whatever, or their kids got clothes and food and don't want for nothing. You gotta love that. I'm inspired when I see stuff like that. So that keeps my fire lit when it comes to doing stuff like this and creating, and because I know we can build, and I know this will all lead to. And first of all, it's good energy, good people. So it'll lead to bigger and better spaces for me to get a little more comfortable, a little more relaxed, and then be the full version of what I can do in this space.
Exactly.
When I don't have my time spread out between so many different things, trying to make something. You know what I mean?
Because time is what?
Man.
Of the essence.
For sure.
Like, if you don't have the time, you can't do it. You just can't do it. If you don't have the time, and you can't even, you can try, you can do it, but can you give it your all?
That's the thing.
Are you like, okay, I'm gonna try this, but fuck, I'm on 60% right now.
It's hard, bro.
And then I gotta wake up tomorrow and go do this. But when you can really focus all your energy into what you're passionate about and what you love and do it, that's where success comes.
For sure. For sure.
And that, like, so when you did see those cars and when you did get motivated, inspired, did you have did it click an idea, a thought in there? Like, oh,
Immediately.
this is what I'm going to do.
What I already knew that I want to be in content creating.
Okay.
In one shape, form, or another. I do my reels on Instagram. I'm learning video, doing it on my phone. I got little apps and stuff like that. I'm learning editing. So I already know that I want to do something.
Right.
When I get to, you got to remember, I started doing podcasting. Dude, when Dash First Radio first started, when Ski first built that building on, what's that, Crescent or Vine, and he first built the Dash building, I was one of the first podcasters in there that was independently creating it on my own show.
Wait. I'm completely ignorant to what.
Bro, I had 3 podcasts before I ever did in this.
Really?
Years ago.
And what was Dash?
That was Dash Ski, DJ Ski.
Okay.
Had a whole Dash radio station. It was on the phone. A huge, big satellite radio. And I had one of I had a podcast on that station.
Okay.
Years ago. I had another podcast where I did, it was Lux Cookout with me and my homie Badru. And I had the homie Lays help me on engineering. I used to run that spot or they spot on San Francisco and La Brea. I had another podcast of that called The Overrated Truth that I did with my man Badru, my homeboy Lays, and the homegirl Mahoney. And we was just talking stuff. We had guests come on. I had all kind of crazy, famous guests, celebrity guests, all kind of stuff. Dude, I've been doing podcasting for so long, but after that happened, I just kind of like, pandemic happened after that. Well, pandemic happened maybe a year or two after that. 3 years, I'm sorry. Yeah, about maybe 3 years after that. And then I just didn't, I didn't do it anymore. And so when I'm doing videos and trying to learn reels and trying to learn content and being in a space of trying to figure that out, and then I go do a podcast. First of all, I'm watching y'all do podcasts and I'm loving it. I'm like, oh, they built a whole little thing here. And then they invited me on the show. And once I got on the show, 2 things happened. One, it showed me how much I miss my dudes.
Right.
So we got to clown it like it was when we used to be in Diamond Lane back on tour back in the day. And the other thing was like, oh, I could be really good at this. Like, people started leaving comments like, yo,
why is Luck not on here more?
Yeah,
Why?
Luck should be back and Luck should be. And I'm like, oh yeah, because we just sit around and clown and have fun. And I can take a joke. So it don't matter if you clowning me, I can take a joke.
And you can dish that shit out too.
And I can dish it out. I can. And I
you want to go?
I felt very comfortable in that space. So it kind of reignited the fire under me to do podcasts. I did Ace Boys after that. I did T-Rail Show after that. I did Fair to Say after that.
Fair to say. Back on Fig, Fair to say.
Back on Fig, Fair to Say. And it was all love. They opened the doors. They welcomed me with open arms. It was love. I think people loved it, what I had to offer, whatever. And it just like, so when you called, I already knew when you hit me, I'm like, bro, first of all, I was about to call you. I'm not even lying, bro. I said that in the last podcast.
Yeah.
I was going to call you because when we were Ace Boys, first of all, it was hilarious. And dude, you had me dying laughing. And I haven't fully met you. I met you, obviously, but we ain't hung out.
Right.
And the way you was clowning, I was like, oh, no. He a fool. Why y'all on me? He a fool. They just used to you being here, but no, he's the fool.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so I was like, dude, I want to do your podcast. I saw you doing Reality Check. And I'm like, I want to do your podcast. So when you called me, it just made sense.
Right.
And then when we did the podcast, we should probably do another one. So when you kind of like, yo, I think we should try to, I'm like, bro, I'm in. Whatever.
Dude, I was so happy. But that you were the first person in my thought process was like, dude, I know exactly who will just thrive and outgrow. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Because really what I'm trying to create is something unselfish.
Yeah.
Something that has no greed to it. You know what I mean? Like, and sometimes it's just all people need is just a place to be, to talk and take off. And I was like, who do I know that's smart as fuck, that can be funny, that has a story, that has gone through a transition, and also is in a place in life where I feel other black men, not even just black men, just other men in general, need to hear and need to see. You know what I mean? Like it was a point in time in life where people will look at you, look right now, like if they didn't know your name and they're just looking at you right here in this couch, they would not put together husband, father.
No.
Dedicated to those things. things.
Yeah.
And
Shout out King.
And a devout servant of Lord.
Yeah,
Lord.
for sure.
That's just not the image that they equate with that. You know what I mean?
Not at all.
And so
and I've been getting that my whole life. you don't look like whatever. I always got an image of or idea of what I look like. But that's why I understand how important it is to talk to people. But I appreciate you saying that.
And it's like it was just a no brainer, of course. Like just like I can't wait to get Luck on here, and it was really for the reality check because I wanted to talk to somebody also about marriage. About marriage and like the ups and downs and the reality to marriage.
I posted that clip on my page. I think I forgot who cut that one up. I don't know if.
Havoc
cut it. Okay.
Yeah. Shout out to Havoc.
I think I tagged him in the video too. I posted that clip on my page, bro. The feedback was crazy because people left comments, but all the DMs I got from men and women.
Right.
Here's the thing though, people that want to be involved and talk about that.
Yeah.
People like, yo, man, next time y'all talk about something like that, women too, like, yo, have me on. Marry women and marry men. But what happens is people don't have the space. Because nowadays the narrative is so strong about, women use men for this and men use women for this, or you ain't a real woman if you ain't this, and if you don't take care of your man, divide. So when you have two men talking about, look, man, I done messed up.
Almost ruined it.
I almost ruined it, but I got together and never again. And I adore my wife. Mm-hmm. And when you talk like that about your wife, I think it shows people like, it ain't all bad. Mm-hmm. It's not. And when you are true to your person, more beautiful things can happen. Bro, if I didn't have my wife,
oh Lord,
there's no way I could have made it through the majority of things I've made it through in the last 15 years.
Oh my goodness.
There's no way. And I feel like that's the reason why God put me and her together, because he understood that I also needed something. I needed something because he would jump off the cliff. You know what I mean?
Right.
So he surrounds you with structure, surrounds you with people, surrounds you with love for people who care. And my wife is a huge part of me not jumping off the cliff, because depression is real and life get real, and and we're in LA. It's expensive. They expect you to do this. I was a very well-known rapper in Los Angeles. You have to humble yourself to be that and then drive an Uber.
Right.
Because you still to this day can get people like, oh, ain't you bad luck? Because they feel like you're supposed to have this, or you're supposed to be.
This is what my thought of you is right now. Why you're not fitting my
why you don't fit what I think you should do and have of a game that you have no understanding of how it even goes, how people are paid, what it is. So, and for me, I had to get past the like, bro, first of all, you start doing Uber because your wife tore her ACL on a trip in Mexico.
Oh shit.
And I was rapping at the time and she was working. And so I had to chill out a little bit and start working.
Yeah.
I had to find something to do immediately.
Right.
That was one thing where I didn't have to do a big old interview process and everything. My license is good, my insurance is good, no background history.
What can I get to quick right now? Because I need it right now.
That's why I started doing it. That's literally the reason why I started driving Uber, and I started doing it. And for me, it was really nerve-wracking in the beginning. Mm-hmm. People knowing you, recognize you, messing with your spirit, and you ashamed. Mm-hmm. You would never even say anything. I'm super past that now, but I'm saying like, there was a point where it was like it bothered me. Mm-hmm. So, but at the same time, I'm paying bills.
Right, I'm getting
done.
Feel
what I need to get providing done. Right, and so it's a struggle of like, wait, you're paying bills and you taking care of your wife. She's on the injured list right now. Straight up, tore her ACL, bro. She can't do nothing.
Right. You
already know how we've learned that from sports. You can't do nothing.
Now imagine your wife home injured and you not getting it done,
bro. That's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? Like,
there was no room for me to not get it done.
There was no room.
I can't say I'm gonna just wait for the rap next verse to say, oh, that's not. I'm off.
And now she's injured and stressed.
Now she's injured and stressed. Ain't about to lose. Get out this house, maybe.
Right.
So I had to get on what I had to get on to do what I had to do. And for me, that's what being a man is about.
Right.
You know what I mean? About the sacrifice and what you do under pressure. When the water gets high, your head about to go under, what you do then. When you got a family to think about and you got things to do. I wish I would tuck my tail and try to lie because of pride when I'm about to lose my family or lose my house or whatever the case may be.
And that's, I don't know if you've seen this, but I've seen it in men. That's when they do the boasting. thing, like
sure.
where they like, I don't need this, like, and they do like a reverse Uno card, like they try to change it and deflect what's really going on.
Projecting.
And
That's
they try to do the bravado thing, like, I'm a man, I do this, but really you're just avoiding.
You're avoiding.
You're
not
avoiding.
dealing with. You're projecting, and it's weak.
It's weak as hell.
It's weak. You think you're being strong, and we see it that you're weak. And so I had to get past through all those things.
Right.
You know what I mean? So to bring it all the way back around, to be here in a space with you, learning so much from you, watching you and your setup, and this is dope to me. To me, this is dope. Yeah, we clown. Yeah, we have fun and all that. But on a serious note, all this for me is super. And all this for me is success.
Yeah.
For me, this is successful.
Right.
That you have set up a business in your spot, wherever this is. You set up a business, and this business is operating, and it starts with you and ends with you. That's commendable. That's what anybody should be able to respect. And I respect that. And my thing, I'm working to get to that. So these are my short-term goals.
Yes.
Like
yeah.
these are my goals I'm working to get to for sure. So I'm enjoying it and I'm loving the space. But I also love to give flowers too. So I also give my flowers to you.
Thank you.
The whole entire Fig community, the whole network, the whole everything. Because that right there should be praised.
Yeah, absolutely.
In a sense, and revered and really modeled.
Yeah.
Because forget the people who know y'all. The people who don't know y'all should look at y'all and be like, oh, no, let's do that.
Exactly.
There should be another crew of dudes trying to build a Fig community right now.
Right now.
Because Pun them did it. They showed you what to do. They are doing it every day. It's a different podcast on live every day of the week. That means you guys should be building something to try to get in the system or try to make a system or structure like that. Because you have a live model in your own backyard right now.
Right. And then you look how you said you went to community, Ace Boys Worldwide, back on Fig, Fair to Say.
Mm-hmm. And Reality Check.
And Reality Check. And that's 5. Mm-hmm. And those are completely 5 different styles, 5 different blueprints, 5 different energies that you can look at and be like, oh, damn, a little piece of this, a little piece of that. Mm-hmm. Like different examples, different blueprints on how you want to get there. It's not where it's not hidden anymore. No,
it's very intentional. First of all, I don't go to podcasts to say, oh, let me get cracking. No, that's not how I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it like, I want to be in the space. Mm-hmm. How can I learn? The more I'm around, the more I can learn. The more I do different podcast space, watch different podcasts, hosting styles, different content, subject matter, how you run it, time, equipment. I'm looking at everything. Right. And I'm like, because I want to be in a space. So for me, that was school.
Time to be a sponge.
Yeah, and I'm with the homies, so I'm clowning. Yeah. It's jokes on every podcast I'm there.
We're looking like, okay, cool.
But at the same time, I'm like, it's school.
Right.
Oh, I see how he said, okay, boom. Oh, I need to get the, okay, cool. So I need to, or jump in the mix. Right. I could have asked Pun, like, Pun, put me on. Yeah. Set me up you know me, I'm going to do my one too. I could have did that. I didn't do that, but I'm saying like I could have did that because
easily
I have a resource. Pun is a resource that I can reach out to and be like, Pun, what you think? What you think? You think I'll be good at something? Would you like to help me out in this? I could have did that. But it happened how it's supposed to happen. Right. Organically, and me and you start talking, and then boom, now we have our podcast that we trying to work out and see where this goes. Right. And for me, organic is the best way. It's the best way. It's the best way. So I feel and I believe I'm God-led. So anything organic that's happening that God allows to happen through, if it crash and burn, I always believe God stopped it. Mm-hmm. If he allows us to keep going, if we keep doing episodes, then that means he okayed it, because I always ask. And, I feel now I'm even more confident because it's God-led. So that means it's going to do what it's supposed to do. Exactly. So I'm on that type of time.
I'm moving in my purpose.
Absolutely.
Moving in your purpose. And you brought up a good point. Like, this is something that I think about a lot, is like the humbling of being one thing, or how you looked at yourself and then now I'm doing this. I'm not supposed to. The humbling thing, right? People always bring up, or people say about your enemy. Jesus washed the feet of his enemy. Forgive your enemy. Turn your other cheek. Mm. But really, the underlying message of washing the feet of your enemy as Jesus. Mm-hmm. That's why so many dope things in the Bible. Like,
for sure.
It's really,
for sure.
I'm humbling myself.
That's what it is.
I'm humbling myself, getting on my knees. Yes, I'm forgiving my enemy and doing this to my enemy, but guess what I'm doing?
The ultimate
I'm putting
example.
myself in a position for other people to see.
Yep.
He is not too proud.
1,000. First of all, that's a great analogy because that was literally what that was. He's the son of God. I do not have to do this.
I do not have to do this.
I can have all y'all doing that for me.
I can have every single one of you guys doing this.
Right. And
But
that's an awesome analogy for sure.
messaging behind it is I want you guys to see I'm not too proud as
For
the
sure.
son of God
Yep.
to be down here
Yep.
washing some dirty feet.
Humility. That's what it was. And I had to learn that. Here's the thing, right? Which I thought was pretty ill. Even to jump back on that. Even when I started telling people, or what's up, Luck? Oh, I didn't know you drop Uber. Oh yeah, man, I'm getting to it. Hey, bro, I feel you, brother. Get that money, bro. Take care of your family. Do what
Get that paper.
for sure. So it started to be received in the way that I would probably want it to be received. Instead of me being looked down upon, it was more so like, nah, get to it, bro.
Get to it.
Yeah, and plus I don't, I'm past the whole. First of all, I'm not even in the mix. I'm not even in the mix to be around people that clown me disrespectfully.
Right.
If you're going to clown me how Pun may clown me, or AD may clown me, or T-Rail may clown me. Where I know that it's love. It's no hate there.
You're not tearing me down.
You're not tearing me down. We clown it as how we clown people.
Right.
So I don't care about that. But for those, I'm never in a space around people who are trying to tear me down.
Right.
So I'm good with that also.
And if you are, remove yourself from that situation.
And plain and simple.
Plain and simple. It's just so amazing, you know what I mean, to be able to be a witness to that, you know what I mean? Because as you touch on that, like people started receiving it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And they were like, go get your paper, go get your money. But the way that God works and the way that things work is I'm using you as an example.
Yeah.
To inspire people that think they're too proud.
And that's what
Like
faith,
if Luck did it, Luck ain't too proud.
No.
Rios ain't too proud to put it out there. Who the hell am I
For sure.
to be too proud to do something or this and that? It's like, damn.
I watch people. I think that's what testimony is about, and it's about showing people like, wait a minute, like, because one thing we know is as real humans that we all think the same thing. We are kind of like we all be sitting. I've had my bouts with like jumping in front of. I'm sure. First of all of us are street dudes.
Right.
We all had a problem at least at one point getting in front of a camera.
Right.
That's just about. It's a real thing.
100%.
Everybody had to adjust
Because it's against everything.
Everything we was raised on. Everything was raised about no cameras, no audio,
No recording, no talking.
no recording, none of that. So we had to adjust to that anyway. So now we just got to adjust to all the new things. So when it comes to your life making a shift, right? About shifting gears, which is very, very, very much important. Learning how to shift gears and when you should shift gears, that's a whole topic in itself. Because we've been taught that, they got these famous quotes throughout society, never get up, sleep when you're dead, or never, don't quit.
Yeah.
And but that don't apply to you being in the NBA. Not to say you can't make it, but maybe you can't make it.
Right.
Maybe it's not in the cards for you. So you spent all your life trying to go play in the league, and it was never intended for you to be in the league.
It was intended
So if
for
you don't
you
know
to
how to
get
shift
your
gears,
ass in college.
that's what I'm saying. Do something else, right?
They're going to pay for you to go to college then.
The golden rule is knowing when to shift gears.
Right.
Knowing when to shift gears. Is it when it's not too late, whatever too late is, right? But, But there's tons of people who did not know how to shift. Did not know when something is too, you may have saved all the money to build something, start an app and do all this stuff like that. And then you lost your house, lost your wife, lost everything. Right? Because you just didn't know how to shift gears.
Yeah.
And then you ran it until it was no get back.
No get back. Ran into the wheels fell off.
For sure. So knowing how to switch gears is the ultimate thing. And me and myself is rap was when I retired, when I quit rapping, my whole thing was about switching gears because not that I knew how. Mm-hmm. First of all, I had to.
Yeah.
Because I'm not rapping anymore and I was rapping for my whole life. What am I gonna do for money?
Exactly.
I don't sell drugs. I don't hustle, no crime type of stuff. What am I gonna do? So I'm like trying to figure it out, and you start figuring it out. So that's what switching gears is about. So to your point about being an example and being a lesson for everybody else, it shows that wait a minute, Rios had a job. First of all, got a family, had a job, doing all kinds of stuff. Then he started doing Ace Boys, and then that started cracking. A platform was built, showed how people get money. Then Rios broke off, did his own podcast. You started your podcast, what, a year or two ago? 2 years ago?
I think like actually before the summer.
Before the summer. But last year though, right? 2023.
No, the reality check is just
Not reality check.
The lives.
Yo, yeah,
like a year.
The YouTube period.
Yeah, like a year.
Okay,
yeah,
a year.
yeah.
So that means, and then you got into that, and then you started a podcast, then you started reality check. All those are switching gears.
Right.
All those are trying to figure out, and then you quit your job. The ultimate gear switch.
Yeah.
The ultimate, like, you know what? I'm gonna jump out here on faith. Because we don't know if it's gonna work.
No.
Even if it's working, we don't know if it's going to continue to work.
Exactly.
So that's an ultimate gear switch. And I think that story, when people hear that, somebody else is looking at this not knowing when they should maybe quit their job, how they should do it, what's a good enough time, should they, if there's some kind of light at the end of the tunnel for content creating, maybe this is a sign that you should go all in.
Right.
Or maybe you should keep that job and just go harder with content creating, and then when it becomes financially feasible for you to bounce out, you can bounce out. But maybe somebody don't have. If you only got a Rios to teach you that, then good. There's your sign. There's your. You know what I mean? That's why I think it's very important that we tell our stories.
Exactly. It may be the most important thing right now.
For sure.
Because we got to a place of a lack of communication with each other.
Yeah.
We talk the most in barbershops.
Yep.
But we don't really talk about the shit that really matters.
Yeah, it's just frivolous, like you said, barbershop talk.
Barbershop talk.
Yeah.
But it's an opportunity. It's really an opportunity for fellowship and to be like, hey man, like there's a great place to have uncomfortable conversations.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, cause
for sure.
It's like if we start holding each other accountable to just communicate what's going on. Not to judge or put somebody down
right.
But to ask.
Yeah.
To let's have a discussion. How are you doing in your marriage? Or how do you go so long with just jumping around, sleeping with all these women?
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're taking bad shit home with you? Like, do you think that you may be able to equate that with your position in life right now? Like, what's going on? I'm just guessing. I'm just thinking. But those are conversations that could be had
For
that
sure.
we don't ever have.
Yeah, I think, to your point, men are prideful too. You know what I mean? And not just men, people in general are having sometimes these vulnerable. I mean, women are better at it, obviously, than men. We're trying to learn how to be. Cats like you and myself, we're literally having it.
Yeah.
In front of the world, essentially. Whoever looks at the podcast gonna get two men being vulnerable about their lives, their marriages, and life, right? Which is a good thing. But I think it needs to be more. And people to tear down that wall of, I would say, fear. But I also, here's the cold part. I also understand how that wall was built.
Yeah.
And why it's still there.
Right.
Because people can be cruel. And if you're not like, for example, I talked about when I went to community and the streamers had jokes for me all day. Oh, he looked like such. He looked like this. Or, oh, y'all got that nigga from the one show,
Yeah.
And I'm dying laughing. But if you didn't have tough skin, bro.
Oh man.
You probably would have never did podcasting again. It was that many jokes. It was that many that a dude who was dealing with insecurities and super low self-esteem, he probably would have gave up on everything.
Gave up.
So it's just it's dope to kind of be, if I may, be an example for some kind of like truth.
Right.
Some kind of like real. That's why the title is the Relatable. Because it's so much that's not relatable.
Right.
in the world, and especially with media, content creating, a bunch of stuff. So I think people are going to get a kick out of us when we just keep rocking out and keep bringing podcasts like this, being consistent and building on that. And then, man, one day we're going to look up, it's going to be a year or two from now, however it is, we're going to look back like, dang, my life was completely different at that one point. Remember the time when I was talking about this, and then now look at this and boom, boom,
look
boom.
Look at us. And that's the movement right now of what I'm trying to get away from is the unrelatable that's being pushed.
Yeah.
Like in the vision that's being pushed of look at me on top of this hill.
Right.
I have everything. you don't have anything. You are down there,
That's crazy.
there at the bottom.
Yeah.
And what I'm going to talk about is all the stuff that you don't have and you can't have. And I'm going to make you feel bad about the position that you're in. And it's not even about building them.
That's crazy when you say that.
It's not even about building them up to get what they have.
It was never about building them.
It was never. It was I'm
to them.
boasting and bragging to you about what I have that you'll never have. And look at me.
Bro,
look at how good I'm living. Look at your struggle.
You got me thinking of, that's a great point. It made me think about how, to the point of, it was never about building them up.
Never.
Right. And so I use this example of like a rapper, right? Rapper gets signed and put out a video, or he don't get signed. He put out a video. And, he in the hood, he got the shirt off, tattoos, burnt, looking burnt with the homies. But the song is incredible.
Yeah.
Right? Like kind of like when you first seen Sosa 300 video.
Or Juvenile.
Right? Right? And it didn't really look like no money.
No.
Obviously, Baby them had a Range Rover in the video. So obviously, a couple of dollars, but it didn't look like no money for real. Then the projects and all that. And then the rapper get his deal, right, from that song that went crazy. And then the very next video,
bling,
super chained out, the brand new whatever, like the lights and everything's different, but grill. And I'm like, fam, you just left everybody who was with you the last video.
Yeah.
And now you're talking about money, and now you're talking about all this stuff, all these things that that not even obtainable to most people in the world.
Right.
When you think about poverty, let's keep it real.
Right.
I'm not telling you can't ball out. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that you didn't give them no time to grow with you.
No.
So meaning you never cared about the build up. You never cared.
It's all about self.
I watched one of the most incredible documentaries I've seen in the last couple of years was Bye Bye Barry. Barry Sanders documentary. I don't know if you ever seen it.
No, I have not.
It's on, if I'm not mistaken, it's on Netflix.
Okay.
It's called Bye Bye Barry. First of all, it's incredible. Barry Sanders was one. He was,
and the mystery behind him just walking away on top.
Which she answers all that. She showed all that. Barry Sanders. This tie into the story. What I'm talking about on topic at hand. Barry Sanders, when he got in the league, I think he's about to break the rushing record or something like that, and he had maybe like 4 to 10 yards or something like that, 13 yards to go to break the rushing record. But they were winning. It was like they can't come back. They already Detroit's kicking butt. The coach like, yo, you want to go put you in so you can get the last, break that record or whatever. He like, no, I'm good. He said, man, just go. I'm gonna give you the ball. You go get just to break your record. You only need such a yards. He said, Coach, I'm good. We already won. He said, we won the game already. I'm not doing this for that. Barry he didn't want to get the yards because football is not a single individual sport.
Right.
It's a team sport.
Right.
We already winning. I'm not trying to upstage nobody here. I'm not trying to do it just for the solo accolades. It's a team sport.
Celebrate me.
And just if you thought Barry was like nervous or like doing that or just a fake story that the coach told one time, then they found the high school footage where he did it about 2 or 3 times before in high school.
Really?
Same thing. There's no need to come out. No, it was a kid in school. Like, ain't no need.
Dang.
No need. He said, "Man, we winning already. We good." I said, "Don't carry me out. We're not doing no carry out the field stuff. We're not doing none of that. We're not doing." He didn't want no solo celebration type of thing. It's
that
a
is
team
crazy.
sport. But he was different. But he was showing by example of, I'm being a team player.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you a live example of what it looks like to be straight up about the team. Not just talk it. This is a walking thing I'm doing.
Let him get that rep. Let the next man up get that rep.
It wasn't Saquon, was it? You see the footage with, was it Saquon? When they was trying to get him to break, he had the, I think a rushing record or something like that.
Really?
He had to get maybe 4 more yards or something. The coach went over there to sit by him. Was it Saquon? Went to go sit by him. I'll show you the footage maybe after the show. He said, man, coach went to sit by him. He said, man, I want to put you in, man, so you can go get that record. He said, no, I'm good, coach. He said, man, you sure? He said, man, I'll put you in, man. You got like 4 more yards. He said, no, I'm good, coach. Let the young boys eat.
Oh, let the young boys eat.
Let the young boys eat. I am who I am already.
I'm full.
I don't need to keep doing it. Let the young man. So that means them yards for somebody else to get their numbers up.
Right. Let them get the experience. Let them
That's
get in there.
commendable.
Let them get on the field and their parents get to see them.
Exactly.
Because guess what? Their parents are going to be just as happy as him getting the ball one time.
Period. That's it.
In the NFL.
Just for seeing a last name on TV.
Right.
That just for that alone. So that gesture did so much. And same thing for Barry. That gesture did so much for a whole generation of people. And to hear, to see it. Well, if it's Saquon, if it's not Saquon, I'm sorry, but I think it was Saquon Barkley was talking to. Just to see that and it was on video. Somebody caught it on video. And to see that was hats off to him. That's
off.
A real one right there. He did that. That's a real one. And imagine how much his team respect him if he walking around doing stuff like that.
Right.
You can't touch him.
Imagine the messaging and who we have no idea who that helped or who that is building. He may have just created the next president. He may have created the next this.
Bro.
You have no idea how far your ripple effect goes.
Exactly. So just be good out the gate.
Be good out the gate.
Be real out the gate and be you out the gate. I think that's the key, right?
Right.
Be real out the gate, be you, and be genuine. You know, you'll be all right if you just be that. And here's the dope thing about being you. You can be you forever.
With no effort.
With no effort. You can wake up and just be you. You know? Bro, people don't know. Behind the scenes, we got topics, right? We ain't went into none of them yet. What was that one? We talked about the, not really dog breeders. I see you took that in there.
Yeah, the entrepreneur.
Very good.
Yeah.
But we just been conversing.
But look at how that went.
Exactly.
It went a totally different
way that it was intended, right? So I think that's just a testimony to just being us, being authentic, and letting the conversation lead.
Right.
However it leads you. If it leads you to jokes, I thought it was going to be more jokes today. However it leads you is how it's going to lead you. Still a great podcast. We talked about a whole, not to say, I'm not saying it's over, I'm just saying still a great conversation. We were talking about many things, and sometimes if you just let it flow and be you can take you anywhere.
Right. You can take you anywhere. And like right now, I'm feeling like how you said you have to be aware of the time or be paying cognitive and paying attention to when it's time for change, right?
For sure.
When it's time to go, okay, this is over, go here. This has led me to this level.
Yeah.
This has led me here.
Yep.
It's not that this is over. This was just a automobile or something to take me to this
for sure.
to this destination to continue it on.
I like that.
Like I drove a car to the airplane.
Yep.
The airplane took me here so I could get on this boat.
For sure.
Like it just changing
I love that.
different ways to get places.
For
you
sure.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it would have took you forever in a car, would have took you forever in this, whatever. But I feel the change happening where people, and there's a few things that you touched on today that are very relevant to what's going on. And you said people being not afraid of their age, but allowing their age to stop them from doing things.
Yeah.
We just had the East Siders just drop an album.
Yeah, right.
We just had Ice Cube
Just do a new video,
new song.
Mm-hmm.
We got Problem back. You know what I mean? Like now, this is messaging. Like you could go out, you could still do what you want to do, and it's like right now things are so watered down.
Yeah.
With disrespect and people not respecting. Like let's just use hip hop as a platform for this message. Like I don't care about rap.
Right.
I don't care about I'm not doing this for hip hop. I'm doing this to make money.
Right.
That
started with Cameron too.
Lil Wayne. I don't deal with racism. I'm a black man in America. I'm rich.
That was crazy. He said that.
You know, it's this individual.
Yeah.
No respect for the whole platform.
Yeah.
I'm not bigger than the program type shit. And I feel like it's an energy shift where it's like older brothers is like, nah, it's time for us to take back over.
Right.
It's time for us to get like, okay, it's gotten out of control. Mm-hmm. It's just running rampant. Okay, let's get back in it.
I think this is the perfect time for this is the absolute perfect time to start creating something and getting involved with something. And whether it's content creator or not, I'm not pushing that per se.
Just in general,
like because now, to your point about the world being like different, or the society being different, the rules are different, and social media is changing, but if you can offer anything authentic, people will grasp onto it.
Oh man, like because now it's like a rarity.
It's a rarity. So if they feel like, oh, I need something real, look, man. The part of the reason why Shannon Sharp's pod did great with Cat Williams on it was because remember Cat didn't tell a lot of jokes. It was just people like Cat was authentically Cat.
Yeah.
And like we didn't think, and we're not used to someone being that real. Whether you believe him or not, that's not the topic of conversation we're having. He believes it.
He believes it.
And if it's true or not, that's under my pay grade, right? But I think we are we were in need of somebody just being real, no matter what kind of fires are set, no matter what happened in the background or behind the curtains about what kind of chaos it caused.
Yeah.
We needed somebody to be real. And the floodgates opened when he did that.
Right.
You know, and I think for the most part, that's what was why it did as great as it did. You know, because we love the rumors and we love messy news and we love all that stuff. Yeah, but it had to take somebody bold enough to say that.
Right.
He didn't say a bunch of old, out the game people.
No.
He talked about current superstars.
Current.
You know what I mean? And so that's I think for the people, back to the point is that people are looking for that authentic feel and look. You know what I mean? And they'll go wherever or do whatever to get it. And if they gotta jump over 2 or 3 fake podcasts and this burnt out corny cooking show person or whatever to get to a reality check, then they got that, they'll get to it.
They'll get to look at God. That's crazy. Not crazy, it's just amazing. Relatable.
Mm-hmm.
Reality check. Like it's like all real. And something was on my heart or on my spirit. It was like, people want something real.
Absolutely.
They want to hear people talk about some real shit. Like, and it could be anything. It could just be, how did you get to where you are?
Right.
How did you fuck up? Like, tell me your biggest fuck up.
Yeah.
Like, what was your biggest mistake that you could tell us that to help people avoid?
For sure. And what you learn from that.
And what you learn from that. And I was having like a thing in my head where I was like, you know what? I don't want people to be on the reality check and being like, damn, how did I look? Or did I this and that? Like, I want you to come on and just be like, man, I don't give a fuck how I look. Let's just get this message out.
Let's talk about this real conversation.
Let's talk about this real conversation.
Sure.
I don't want no handler telling like, this is what you can ask, this is what you can't ask, because if that's the case, I don't want it.
Never, bro. Yeah, never doing that. Yeah, especially with a show called Reality Check.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't want it. I don't want to have to be thinking like, oh, let me walk on my tippy toes or be careful with how I handle this. No, I know how to be a good person. I know how to be a humble, loving person. I'm not going to try to put anybody in a situation that's not healthy.
For sure.
Right? So don't try to box me in who I am as what I'm doing.
For sure.
Because I'm literally just learning who the fuck I am in this space.
That is where I am.
You know what I mean? So don't tell me how to be. I'm just figuring this out. Let me naturally become. I'm like a kid in a space where people are just trying to drug up this kid. Let's deal with this. This kid don't even know who he is yet.
Right.
Like, let's drug you up so you turn into whatever this drug makes you.
Which has happened tons of times.
Tons of times. So I want to be in my natural form. I want people to be like, wait, when I go to the reality check, it's unfiltered, unhinged. And I'm not giving a damn about this and this and that. Let's just go.
And respecting your opinion about what you lay down, what you decide to talk about.
Right.
Because you've done the work where you gain their trust. You know, so I totally understand that.
And it's the real in the field is what's going on right now. And I was just touching on the fact that age is nothing but a number. Look at Bernie Mac. Look at Steve Harvey. Look at these guys who did become successful later in life. Imagine if the dude that you were talking about that has the YouTube, the Canon, the camera guy that does
Peter McKinnon.
Mm-hmm. Imagine if he was at his 600 views and was like,
and just stopped.
Just stop.
Yeah, I talk. I talk about that when it's another great point you make, because I always say you got to give people a grace and a chance to grow. Most importantly, give yourself a chance to grow.
Right.
Because if you would have stopped, for example, I say, if you if you would have canceled Detroit Red, then you never would have had Malcolm X.
Never.
That's the bottom line.
Never.
If I tell you, if I run down the stats of what type of person Detroit Red was, you'll be like, oh, who was that? And I lock him up forever. Who was that? Oh, he was a nasty person.
He was a pimp.
Yeah,
He
he
was
turned
this,
up.
drug.
This, but with growth, life, his religion, all that taught him to be who we know him to be as Malcolm X. So that's a great point. It's like allow yourself the chance to grow. Allow yourself to be, whether it's great, legendary, whatever.
Right.
You know. So yeah, that's ill. That's crazy.
Because that goes to the point. Like we could take that further and say, what if we didn't allow Elijah Muhammad to think he was who he was?
Yeah.
There is no Malcolm X.
Yeah. Exactly. For sure.
And so Malcolm X went away from what Elijah was teaching.
Yep.
But imagine if Elijah didn't become who he was to get to Malcolm X, to get to
that
Red,
chain effect of like the possibility, like things had to happen for the beautiful for Terrence Hard to get here one day. For me to get for Rios to be here one day. That mean there were some people that made the decision back in the days, and that decision led, whether it's through hook or crook, like my mom used to say.
Hook or crook.
You know, you fight through stress, problems, life, America, being black in America, being whatever. But just saying, being oppressed in America, all these things went against Rios being born one day.
Right.
But Rios was still born one day.
Right.
And is here, thriving, married, kids. That's my idea of successful. Running his own process and company. That's success to me. But if that would have been cut off at the foot, cut off at the knees, basically, then you would have never saw, and to your point, Malcolm X.
Never.
You know, and I think that's important too when you talking about being yourself, being your authentic self, and allowing yourself the grace to mess up.
So I had brought up a thing on the reality check with you where I was like, my wife is sleeping with her trauma, but even her sleeping with her trauma, she's allowing her trauma to deal with its trauma.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
that's crazy.
Imagine if she didn't have the strength to allow the growth to happen.
Yeah.
And allow me to develop into give me the grace to be like, you know what? I'm going to give you an opportunity. I'm going to give you a chance to be better than what you've shown.
Yeah.
But I know there's work that you have to do to get there. You're not just going to wake up and be what I want you to be
for sure.
right now.
Yeah.
Given the grace, given the time for people to grow and develop into who they're going to be. I have Manny's dad on here, Muhammad.
Okay.
On a reality check and just talking about his transitions through life and how he grew and like how to this day, at 70 years old, he's still learning and growing as a person.
Wow. And here's the thing. The reaction, now think about it, wow shouldn't even be the reaction. Like, because as long as you're alive, you should be growing.
Right.
As long as you're alive, you should be growing. You know, so wow, hats off to him for that.
And he talked about, and the fact that he talked about Malcolm and went to Elijah, he talked about the nation and the growth of the nation and how his pilgrimage to Mecca or whatever. But it made me think, like, what is my pilgrimage? What is my journey? What is it that I'm trying to make it past or what's my walk?
Let me ask you, what's your goal for what you're trying to build? Under the Aceboy Rios, let's just say umbrella is I'm really trying to. So the whole thing was how it started was, of course, the coffee with Rios with my wife out front, but I wasn't seeing anything that I could relate to. Okay,
I wasn't seeing anything that I could connect to and be like, I feel like that's what I am. That's what I'm doing, and it was like. Not to pat myself on the back or anything. It was like, I'm a cool dude. I'm a funny dude. I'm a young brother. I'm from the streets. I made it out the streets, but I see what y'all talking about.
Yeah.
I know what y'all talking about, but I don't see me in where I'm at with my wife and with my kids and that being pushed.
Yeah.
Like I see the
Growth in it. Yeah.
the negatives. I see like all the way negative, or I see all the way super positive. That's unrelatable.
Yeah. Ooh.
It was unrelatable to me. I can't imagine vibrating and walking through walls. Like that's not. I'm not conscious where my consciousness is going to Egypt and seeing things and talking with these people.
Right.
Or I'm not talking about how I beat up 30 niggas in county.
Right.
Like that's
Right.
unrelatable to me.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's unrelatable
A
to
bunch of people.
90% of the black men that are out here. And so what I try to do was like, you know what? I want to give us representation. I want people to see a Luck. I want people to see a Rios who are not money hungry,
No.
doing things for money, doing
No.
things for views. And so that's what it was. And that's what I want to create. I want to create a space for people to be able to see people in real time being real.
You have created space.
And so now I got the two young ladies, Anya and Javonda from the I Want to Know podcast, who are very real and very unfiltered with their responses and who they are.
For sure.
Two entrepreneurs, two young black women that are entrepreneurs in the field that they're in, business owners,
That's fire.
and unmarried, no kids. You know what I mean? That you would think that, all black women got kids, all this, they all need to be married, or they all have this. They don't have businesses and this and that. Like, no, look at this. This
Right.
is just two random black women that I saw that
Beating about 4 stereotypes all off top.
Off top.
You know what I mean?
Like, fuck your perspective. This is real.
This is real.
These two young ladies from the city that I just, go ahead.
I was about to cut in and say, first of all, my brain be all over the place.
No, it's all good.
You should redo that podcast with your wife too. We'll talk about it off air. I need to say it so you heard it. That way I'll be reminded when we talk off air.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah. 'Cause I thought that was a great idea when you said it. I know you used to do it, but we'll talk about it though.
Yeah. And so,
I do have a question for you though.
go ahead. Yeah.
But I have a question that's going to throw the conversation somewhere else.
It's okay. We closed that chapter. Let's be real, get real shit. That was my goal is to just put real shit out on the internet.
For sure.
That was
no, and I think for that I commend you to, because not only have you doing it, you're doing it now. These conversations is that putting real stuff out there that people can relate to. It's not unrelatable. People can relate to, and I feel like I'm comfortable in saying when I read the comments for what this video is going to be, they're gonna feel the same way about that. You know what I mean?
Please leave comments and subscribe. Please like and subscribe to Relatable with Luck and Rios. Got to put our commercial out there.
Here's a left turn.
Sharp left. Oh shit! Let's go.
Here's a left turn.
Okay.
And I want to ask you because I want to know your thoughts on this.
Okay.
This came from a post, so it's not just the dark parts of my mind.
Okay.
Okay. Should a person have to disclose if they are HIV when dating?
Okay. I have many thoughts on this.
I'd love to hear them all.
I have many. If you have AIDS and
HIV.
we're on a podcast with each other, I want you to tell me.
HIV.
HIV, the HIV. Got the
Right,
HIV.
right,
You got the HIV. And
You said if you
just do the podcast with me, I want you to
don't shoot. Before we start, look, you like this.
give me that mic.
Before we.
Can you move the mic away? Move it. Did you bring your own?
Yo, that's crazy. Did you bring?
Do you have a highlighter to mark this?
Oh no! Take that chair with you.
Yeah.
No.
Are you spitting? It's COVID.
That's terrible.
Right? No. Yeah, we like to do COVID kind of practices here. Could you put the mask?
That's terrible. Did you bring your own? Who does that?
Did you by chance, or perhaps did you bring your own microphone filter thing?
I didn't know you was gonna wear regular clothes. I thought. think of half-stock, thinking hazmat, but
Dang it, I see your skin.
shoot.
No, but in all
That's
reality,
funny.
Realistically, dating,
Yeah,
no.
they shouldn't have to disclose.
Just
Okay.
on a date, on a first date. Because now you're disclosing information to somebody that you don't even know you're going to be around.
Exactly.
Like, I just feel
the
like,
same thing we're talking about, the details of my kids. I may say I have kids.
yeah.
But you don't need to know the details on a date. Yeah, for sure.
Like, it's like, now, if there is, because dating is like an application.
For sure, yeah.
Are you putting on your application for your job that you have HIV?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm interviewing. I'm not telling my interviewer
Yeah.
all of my.
Or if it's Gigi or Gerald.
There you go. And coming from Gerald, he doesn't feel like he has to tell you anything. And maybe I take the Gerald stance on that. Like, if you're feeling somebody, say me and my wife are on a date, second date, maybe if it's the first date, and she gets the feeling, I get the feeling like, damn, there is some potential here. Like, I really
So I need
actually
to kind of.
I need to start divulging a little bit more information. Like, you don't tell somebody you're a felon
Right.
on your first date.
Yeah.
I did commit a murder.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, that's, you don't.
I was going to ask you, so when do you think is...
So look, it's not a time.
Okay, okay.
It's not a
So
time.
that's
It's
why I
an
stopped.
intention.
It's an intention. So that's why I stopped it, because the time was... I was thinking time wasn't the word I was looking for.
No, because you could go on 30 dates with somebody and the intention is never
The
there.
intention's never there. So if the intention is to get closer, more intimate,
Yes.
then maybe you start flushing out the details of what that looks like.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna move further into like maybe a relationship or maybe sex, then maybe that should be a conversation. That should be a time we have conversed about. There's this thing I want to tell you.
And you have to make that decision based on the value that you're giving that relationship.
Yeah.
And also, you're trusting somebody with some very personal information about yourself.
Who now has it? They can just go and do whatever they want.
With it.
Yeah.
Like, you're vulnerable, and it's not. And the thing is, like, we can't like turn these people that do are victims or that have AIDS or have this stuff. We can't turn them into like predators.
No.
Like, we're like, it's like we're almost trying to turn them into predatorial behavior. Like,
For sure.
oh, you're walking around with AIDS. You're dangerous to the world. Announce it. Put it on your forehead.
Which is just crazy. And it's crazy that it's a medical thing that I'm, first of all, I don't have to display none of it. I don't have to at all, But to your point, yes, if I put it on me because I don't want to joke about nobody else. Just say if I had that, then I would probably. I'm thinking of a guy who don't have that.
Yeah.
But I would think if it got anywhere close to near where intimacy may be a thing,
right,
then we have to have a sit down,
right,
and I'll tell her that and tell her in that conversation of, look, this is the deal, and I understand if whatever. But here's the thing. I'll say that because a young lady made a post about that. She was HIV positive, and she was saying how, I guess she was responding to somebody maybe, in a way talking about, I don't have to disclose none of it to you. I just don't. And she said, she's talking about when dating, first of all.
Okay, when they're to her date,
when we're dating, I don't have to disclose none of it. So I think what somebody else, not to defend the other person who asked, because I didn't see, she was only speaking on the video. But I think what happens is that some people may feel, for example, I date this young lady, whatever, and we dating for 2 or 3 months.
Okay.
But no sex though.
No sex.
Right? And 2 or 3 months, no sex, but we get deeper, get intimate. I feel like I fall in love with her.
Okay.
It's been 3 months. That's long enough time, depending on who the girl is, whatever. And then she hit me with that. We maybe getting close to. I may have hinted about it. I may have said, I've been ready or I've been waiting or whatever the case may be. And she said, well, let's go out, let's go talk. We got to talk about something. And then she tell me that.
Yeah.
I would also feel like
you were misled.
No, I can't say misled because misled means to intentionally mislead somebody.
Yeah.
That's a medical thing.
Yeah.
A health thing that, but by not even well, by law for sure you don't have to say nothing.
No.
And also just morally, you just don't have to say that.
No.
It don't mean you know what I mean? You don't have to pry and say that. Now, you should say something if you're going to engage. But if we ain't did nothing yet, then you technically don't have to say nothing. But I also feel like if I can't get past that,
Yeah.
then why the fact that we had to wait so how'd you allow me to fall in love without just that part is what I'm saying.
Exactly. You didn't trust, you didn't think I was mature enough, or you didn't trust in me in the beginning. But then again, maybe there was experiences in the past where she did tell people and they ran for the hills.
That's why I totally understand.
And
it's
like,
a messed up space to be in.
It's a tough space.
Yeah.
And it's like, maybe she waits till the 3 months and like, I'm sorry you thought I was mature enough to deal with this. I'm not. You know, and then 3 months went down the line. I think me, if I'm putting myself in the shoes of if I had HIV, I would wear it on my sleeve. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because there's still people that are too damn ignorant about HIV.
Yeah.
It's a lot of ignorance that's people don't even know the advances in the medicine and like like I think I would
and they talk about it less now than ever.
And I think I would be more so like maybe a billboard, you know what I mean? Like I would be if I had reality
You'd be on the billboard?
Yeah, I would be on this show. Like if I had reality check, I would be everybody who watched would know that I had HIV.
How they know every time they watch?
Well, it would be like, yeah, that's Rios. He is the advocate for this.
So it'll say, oh, this is Luck. It'll say songwriter, photographer,
no.
vlog, and Rios. It'll say
the HIV dude, the HIV guy. No, he's got it and he's loving it,
dude. But that happens. I think I've been seeing that more now so than ever. Where I watched a girl the other day who. So I think it was a thread. All these people was on the thread, and another girl was talking. She got herpes, and she was talking about how, like, yeah, I got it. I still live my life. She said, quiet as kept. I got way more guys in my DM now who know I have this than not, right? And so so that doesn't shock me because I know dudes know this to her. I'm not saying that to her, but I know guys. Who will do anything. Let's start there. But I said it because there was a young lady who was I watched her speak one day at a church I was at, and she was talking about how she talking about her have AIDS. She have AIDS. Mm-hmm. She been having AIDS for 10 years.
Okay.
And said she said she spoke at for a professional team. She didn't want to say the team, but she spoke after practice talking about her life and having AIDS and stuff like that, and teaching them about not teaching them but talking about, safe sex and stuff like that. And she was talking about how she had AIDS for 10 years and talking about how her life has been with AIDS and how the doctors thought she wasn't going to make it and she lived and all these things. Beautiful black woman. She said after the game, she said like 4 players was trying to get her number and try to take her out and all kind of stuff. It's like they didn't even care.
They may be the living on the edge kind of guys.
I'm sure.
You know what I mean? Like, I like to play on the edge.
Ooh, play a little bit, yeah.
Like close to the edge. Like, are these kink people? Are these fetish kind of people? Like, what? So that's so much kind of shit.
So now we're here. So in my mind, I was like, what is it about that? Because it can't just be surface level horny.
No.
Right? It's not just surface level, these niggas just horny.
Let me touch this.
Right? Yeah, it's not, that's surface. Right? Because you clearly heard what she said. And then you were intentional about letting her know that I heard what you said and still.
Right.
This. So, to your point about the fetish thing, right? Like, first of all, is that a thing? So, I'm sure there's fetishes for everything.
I think a thing, there's a thing for everything.
For sure.
I think there's a thing for everything.
They probably don't have a name for all the things yet, but somebody likes this.
They call me the hivicator. You know what I mean? Like, they...
The Hivica.
You never know. There's something for everything. There's dirty stuff. There's this and that.
Yeah.
And so, but I'll go to here. Like sometimes people have so much sex and have so much access to women or men or whatever, or maybe to everything. They can have sex with whoever and everything they want.
So they probably turned on by what they can't have.
Like I've never had it with such and such. I wonder what that is. And that to me,
spicy.
That's spicy. And to me, that's a little bit of a sickness. You know what I mean? Like if you can't be satisfied by the norm, you mean you got to have your toe bit off to be feeling this. You got to have this pain to feel sexual.
But to your point, man, you might be onto something with that. You might, because sometimes too much access.
Too much.
Dude, I remember.
It was the rock stars back in the day.
Let's talk about young boy. I talked when we were young, right?
Yeah.
When I was too young to be getting any kind of sex, a virgin. Yeah. Right. I remember how I used to get horny off of the
small
Jason, the bra section in the JCPenney magazine.
Yeah.
Whatever.
TLC video. Music video.
You'd be like, you just ready.
Yeah.
I ain't touched nothing, but you just ready. Your body,
ready to go.
Your hormones is moving fast or anything. And then when you finally had sex, and you finally started seeing breasts, then breasts just, not that it didn't do it for you, it's not as exciting as when you never seen them.
It becomes a normalcy.
Become normal. It's a normal thing. Oh yeah, I've seen breasts before.
Yeah.
I know what that looks like. Or when the first time you ever had sex with maybe a different somebody from a different race, different culture, right? That might be a thing. And then if you've done all the things, positions, and maybe threesomes, foursomes, and swingers, orgy, you done all that. What happens is sometimes that you've done all that, and you've done it probably so much that it doesn't necessarily excite you no more.
You've done all that with everybody.
With everybody. So then when you come across somebody like maybe her with with the HIV, as she said, first of all, she said AIDS.
Oh, she said AIDS. Okay.
10 years with AIDS. Then that's like it could turn into a fetish of, I've never had that before.
Yeah, and that's a highly...
Which is a sickness in my opinion.
Mine too, because...
I'm not kink shaming, but I don't know that to be a kink.
Like, maybe they are... I don't know, man. Like, to me, like, if you can't just be pleased and happy with what is laying next to you, like, this casual, like... But sometimes people take the passion out of it. You know what I mean? People take the love out of it. And there's no love or passion in it. It's endless things to do. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to know somebody. Yeah. You don't have to it's just a body. It's just a bag, a skin that's here that I'm ready to get.
And that's when you've gone too far.
You know what I mean?
That's because there's people like that where it's at that point it's not about
the connection.
It's not about none of that. It's just about the act.
The act. Let me get this off.
You're so turned on by the act, it don't even matter
what it is.
What it is at that point. Which is how people get into like bestiality and all kind of stuff. You know, which gets tricky. Let me ask you another question. I got a couple of questions.
I got a question for that too. Like,
go ahead. Shoot first.
So I wanted to like. So they say like the community, the black community, the black culture, our brothers. It's a lot of our brothers in jail. It's a lot of brothers that are homosexuals. It's a lot of brothers that is just uber successful that don't want to be in a relationship, which leaves way more black women than men. Yeah. And in general, there's more women in the world than men. You know what I mean? Like, so now you have these people like pursuing polygamy. Is it polygamy?
Yep.
Polygamy relationships. And black women saying, well, there's not enough men for us.
It's not.
And so what do you think about that?
But that don't mean they can't do it. It's not. It's definitely, by the numbers, it's not. It's not enough men, right? But you know, that actually plays into. See, we got to flip that. So okay, polygamy. I'm sorry, polyamory.
Polyamory
is the act of it all, right? Partners sharing partners, and within the respect to the rules of what the pod. It's called a pod. Okay. What the pods are doing. And they have their thing. They can go share lovers, but they have rules too. Depending on whatever those rules are. Sometimes the rules is, but we got to let people know that we're dating somebody. Okay. Or they may have rules where we got to meet who you are dating.
Oh,
we have to meet.
Okay. So polyamory is I can accept you going outside.
No, polyamory is that's the overall thing.
Okay.
um, not polygamous. It's another word for women who have different husbands.
Oh, okay.
That's another word. It's
Okay.
I forgot the word, but it's poly something.
Okay.
But it's not. One is for the men who have different women, and one is for the women who have different men.
Okay.
And she's kind of like the head of the pod thing and
Polyandrous.
Polyandrous, right? So polyandrous, as the women who
Polygyny is a man.
Is a man,
Polygyny,
right.
Polyandry is a woman.
is the woman. So polyamory is the overall thing of it all. Right?
Polygynandry, also known as a group marriage, where there's multiple men and multiple women.
Okay, married. Okay, I didn't know that. I'm not into that.
Damn.
Me and my wife, we would be considered. No, we're not polygamous. We do polyamory. So I'm a. I could have kept it going, dog. Your face. I don't know where the pod going.
Oh, I said.
How did you not mention that?
Oh my God. I was like, oh shoot.
No, I'm not.
Oh fuck. I was like,
no, but
I was like, interesting.
Now, whole podcast turned about me and my man. Now we nah.
Oh shit.
No, but so that the numbers thing, they actually play into polyandrous
Okay.
because it's right. There aren't if you line up women and men, there's way more women. But that's why polyandrous works in that favor because a woman can have
multiple men.
Yeah, multiple men. So that actually works better in her favor, not the other way around. Wait,
It can be
both ways.
It can both ways.
Both ways. It works in both ways. So that works. What were we talking about with that?
Do you believe in it? Like, do you think that they should do that? Like,
Well, I'm a man of God, so if you ask me biblically, no.
Okay, but
If you're asking me from a worldly standpoint, no. Also, because I understand when I was out here living wild, I didn't like to juggle women.
mm-hmm.
Now, I didn't juggle them as far as relationships. I may be talking to somebody over here, and I may be messing with somebody over here, but it wasn't like I had different women in relationship with women.
Yeah.
And I didn't like doing that because it's a headache.
Yeah.
Because I ain't got my stuff together, let alone
How am I gonna support?
How am I gonna support this? And I'm dealing with so many personalities. They dealing with my dumb ass, and I got to deal with them, and we all deal with different personalities, and it's getting tricky. It's a lot. So I'm not with the whole the whole thing about that, whatever. But also, I have a friend who's polyamorous,
mm-hmm.
and in his house he has, I think, four women live with him. And that's their thing.
Damn.
You know what I mean?
What power to him? What they got going on.
That's their thing.
And are they black?
Not everybody.
Okay.
He is.
Yeah.
But not all the women. Some are black. Yes, that's his thing. And I don't judge it, but like I said, biblically, no. If you ask me straight up, I'm not gonna never lie about what it is. Biblically, no, that's out. Right? You can't. It's what man and woman. It's man and woman in unison together and under the guise of God. Yes, that's what that is. That's the only legal way to do that.
Mm-hmm.
If you ask me, worldly, my understanding of how the world and stuff like that, whatever, hey man, that's your thing. That's not my thing.
Yeah, because it was what sparked that was there was like a woman. She was like, "Girl, there ain't enough men in this world. You better get ready to share that man."
You know what's crazy? They would say that if there wasn't enough men in the world, because the numbers don't mean that. Let's say if it was a billion men and a billion women to the T, 1 billion on each side. Everybody ain't gonna be faithful.
Mm-mm.
Everybody ain't gonna be loyal. Everybody ain't gonna be
marriage material.
Smart.
Everybody ain't gonna be marriage material.
Everybody don't want it. So the numbers ain't that ain't the thing. Like, so if you just looking for a way to just do something, then just go ahead and do it. If you just if that's what you're looking for,
right?
But the numbers won't mean that. Like we usually, you know how I go. There's no. They don't guarantee you. First of all, they don't even guarantee you a person.
No.
And thankfully, here's the thing. It's the math. Now, this is gonna sound crazy, but if you do the math, thankfully, and I don't mean this biblically at all, but thankfully, all men aren't faithful. And the reason why is because if they were, then ton of y'all will be out of somebody. The numbers don't match.
Right.
A ton of y'all, more than half will be. I don't know if we have, but a lot of y'all will be without a man forever.
Right.
Because all the men are loyal, and it's not enough of them to sustain all y'all.
Yeah.
So, right by the numbers, you just wouldn't have nobody.
I'm not gonna expose. Like I ain't gonna tell, but it'd be 10% marriage.
Oh, shoot.
Stop like 15%. Like but that's I just noticed that it's a thing like happening more so with our culture that
I think people are losing hope. One, what's the word I'm looking for? What's the word you're looking for when you complacent? Is that the word I'm looking for?
Yeah, they're not content.
Content.
Mm-hmm.
More people are more content, and they're just like kind of like giving up. Kind of like
whatever
this
you
is
want.
what life is gonna be. It's not getting better. We don't trust men. Men don't trust women. What are women bringing to the table? Men ain't S, and y'all broke, and y'all this. It's like
I don't feel like cooking every night anyway. I don't feel like fucking you every night anyway.
That's the old true traditions of like what a quote unquote wife and husband may be different, or what the roles of a marriage that lines get blurred on that.
Right.
And so while y'all over there fighting for all that, I'm over here with my married self, loving life.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, everything ain't perfect, but I am in love head over heels with my wife.
Right.
And I'm so glad that I do have somebody, because when I see this out in the world, whether I watch TV shows or I'm looking at some crazy story about two people who are single, whatever the case may be, I thank God I have a wife. And I'm like, I don't go through none of these things.
Yeah, and it's like they're like an excuse for what is happening. Like what they do use an excuse for is that we're trying to go back to what our origin was. Like origin was this. Yeah. And like you have women now that are like gymmers, like have the gems and the rocks and the emeralds.
Yeah, I don't do none of that.
And it's like people are like really,
and it's a misconception too. I think people are hearing things and just regurgitating these things. First of all, like when if I ever talk to somebody who tells me we're going back to the roots of like my ancestors to when kings had many wives, whatever.
Is you a king?
First, let's start there. First of all,
where's your
key
crown?
word you said was king. You're
not even elected on your.
This one, it's not one here.
You're not even elected on your block.
You're not even king. You're not even king in your house. You're not king at your job. Right? So that's one thing. You're
tier 3 at your job.
Yeah, like what do we?
Wait,
right? You work the swing shift. You're not the king of anything.
I think you just called in and asked if you could have an extra day. I feel like you just called in for a sick day. You had to announce you were sick.
You had to announce you were sick. You had to file paperwork.
That's not king behavior.
To go to Vegas. So that's not king behavior. So
didn't you have to take a day off to go to court? And it wasn't the king's court.
Where there was a judge who typically isn't over the king.
You more aligned with the jester.
Jester, it's more your speed. Tomato, I know, but more your speed.
It's like it just you're kind of a clown.
More like a jester, maybe. No offense. Didn't say no offense. No offense.
Do a trick.
Do a trick. That made me laugh, heathen.
Oh my God. Yeah, I don't see it in your cards.
Yeah.
Not in the cards.
In your cards. You're not even on the King of Hearts. Oh, no, another cards.
Blacksmith, pig farmer, one of those.
Yeah, nah. Let's just do something else.
But that's what it is.
No,
it is.
They try to regurgitate this crap, and then you ask them, well, who did it? And who throughout history, and not to say nobody did. I'm not saying that. I'm saying is you're still talking about is it patriarch? What's the men?
Matriarch is the woman. I think patriarch is the man.
Patriarchal systems of men swinging a proverbial dicks for power.
Right.
So you telling me just because a king did it means what? It means what?
Yeah, because you could be slinging whatever you want, but if there's no power
And you're a
behind what you're
king.
doing,
So if it's fear based and like you're like a tyrant. I'm not saying all kings are. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying like, what are you telling me? What does that mean as far as tradition? Now, did the average man? Now, here's the thing: if you told me the king did, and all the average husbands in the village did, then okay, you can show me traditionally this is what they did.
yeah.
Don't bring up the king and say he got a harem of. Now, see, they used to do it. The king.
Let's not. And the other thing is, why are we only adopting one part of what the king
That's
did?
a whole nother thing. That's a
Why
whole other thing.
why are we adopting one part
Yeah.
of what the king did?
Because it fits the narrative.
Because it fits the narrative. Family members lived under the king.
Yeah.
Mothers, wives, sisters supported the whole court.
Yep.
But also,
Wow.
like, you're not in that realm.
No.
Like, it's not even possible for you to be that. You know what I mean? Like, and
Or support that.
or support that. And who's paying taxes to you?
Yeah, that'll never happen.
That one, no one's paying taxes
So-
to you. Like, and I'm not saying, I'm just saying, like, if you were that level of man, and that's what you choose, then do that. If women want to follow behind you, but kings had, even in remember the movie Braveheart.
It's crazy. I'm a minute now so I can get out the way because I am a movie buff, but this goes against all movie buff.
Oh my Lord!
guidelines.
You better not say what I
was the
think.
one movie I haven't seen. I know. It's terrible.
Really?
Yes, I'm ashamed.
You're a movie buff.
I am.
Oh, we go. Yes.
Movie buff, yes, I am.
I'm a movie buff. I want to start doing. They used to have a thing on Twitch where you can do movie parties, watch parties.
Really?
Where you could just be on Twitch live. I mean, you could be watching a movie. and
Dude,
people
I
could
totally
do-
would do that. We
They
totally
got
do that.
rid of it in 2023.
Oh, why?
It was a watch party. Anything that was on Amazon, you could watch as a party, a live watch
Really?
party. Dude, you know,
Dude,
we would
what?
have been the modern day Siskel and Ebert.
We can't do that. No, I guess you can't do it
You
no more
can't
because how do
because-
you copyright all kind of stuff?
Copyright.
And wow.
But okay, so that's one thing. But then back to the Braveheart, like in Braveheart, to keep the people in line that weren't paying taxes and the king was mad, he reenacted like something called Nocturne Suction, where anybody who got married, the night of their marriage, the woman had to have sex with the king.
Are you serious?
Yes. And that's a real thing. And those people were
insane.
also being stepped on. You know what I mean? Like one
Yeah,
culture
for sure,
versus
for
the
sure,
Irish,
yeah.
the Scottish, whatever.
Yeah.
Like they were, the whites was fighting with the whites a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
And so they were acting and doing some cruel stuff. And people be like, yeah, I'm a king. Name me a king that you follow.
Yeah.
I know my king.
But that's why I know my king.
Like,
He definitely wouldn't do that.
he definitely wouldn't do that.
That's out.
That's out.
That's definitely not doing that.
And so it's like we try to
That's
attach ourselves to shit.
Yeah,
Just to
we-
attach ourselves to shit to fit a narrative.
People want to. People will make any kind of excuse to do what they want to do. That's just it. You know what's crazy? You know where they don't do that? At work.
No.
I talk to so many people that say so many things about. Ever since I became rededicating my life back to Christ, I got so many people that are experts about Christianity and all these things. Whether one of my Muslim partners, whether it's I got Hebrew Israelite friends, they all put little messages up on their pages, try to talk down on Christianity, a bunch of stuff. Right? I'm not the arguing type. I'm not a what's they call what they call themselves?
Prove yourself right. Prove people wrong.
Yeah, apologist. I'm not a Christian apologist.
Okay.
Right. So I'm not the dude that's going to go out and argue with all y'all about that. But I'm saying that to say they got all these things to say about religion and sin and stuff like that. Well, God said you can't do that. Well, why can't you do? The point is this: it don't matter what kind of rules are set. Y'all want to do what you want to do anyway.
Anyway,
So
no matter
you'll
what.
find every excuse. You'll become an expert in arguing against the faith just because you want to do what you want to do.
Right.
Just to justify your own BS. That's why it's hard to argue. The same thing for it. Let's look at men and women in relationships. A guy will justify his cheating. He'll justify it so much, he'll gaslight the woman to make it feel like she's the reason.
Right.
because you don't cook enough. We don't have sex enough. Whatever the case may be, you don't make me feel good when I come home from work, and all these things you'll make up because you want to do that. First of all, you was gonna do that anyway. But you also got to tear her down on your way to justify you doing that. And you justify so much, not you, but people.
No, you're
justify
right.
so much that you believe it. You start to believe your
lie.
own crap.
Believe your lie.
For sure. So when people do that, whether it's polygamy, you argue about any of that, or Christianity, whatever you argue about any of that, they just want to live in what they want to live in, and they want people to leave them alone. What happens is, if I'm speaking of faith, Christianity bumps up against your beliefs in that.
Right.
So it offends you because it goes against everything you believe in when it comes to that. Anything sinful, whatever. Yeah. The reason why you do that to your wife, because she's offended by you and what you're doing. And every time you look at her, every time you see her, every time she smiles, do anything nice, anything, your flesh get to moving because you ain't shit.
Right.
You start to feel that feeling inside of like you out here doing her dirty, and for the people who don't feel that thing inside of you, that means you have no conviction. So you're just comfortable with what you're doing, and you don't deserve her anyway.
You don't deserve her anyway. You don't deserve to be happy.
You don't deserve you because you tearing down people to appear as happy, but you're not happy.
And look, so damn, I love how this shit be just rolling into what it rolls into. And that is the act. It is the politician.
Yeah.
It is the I'm standing up here holier than thou, and then as soon as these cameras turn off,
boom,
I'm back to who I am in real life. Like I don't give a damn about what you want, what you do. I am pandering to you just so I could get out of you what I want.
Yep.
And I want your vote. So I'm going to say what it takes to get your vote.
Absolutely.
That's the same thing as a woman or a
with
man.
no intention on laying policy that I've been promoting about whatever I'm going to do to
the
whoever.
gaslight.
The gaslight. That's the gaslight.
That's
for sure.
the gaslight. And it's like we do that in our own homes, or people do that in their own homes. Yeah. It's like you're manipulating this situation just to get out of this situation what you want. You're creating a fight or argument with your wife or with your husband just so you can go out tonight.
That's sick when you think about it.
You know what I mean? Like you just garnered up some shit to start an argument so y'all could be upset with each other so you can be like, I'm out of here.
You know what's crazy what I realized too? Because you just remind when you said what you said about you'll make up some stuff so you can be out the house. I love being with my wife so much that when I do go somewhere and she's not there, it's not for her, she loves that for me.
Right.
So it's never a thing where I gotta lie or or have a fight to go out somewhere.
Go ahead.
We're together so much that for her and for me, I love that she go with her friends somewhere, or she loves when I go. She know I'm doing. She called me before I walked in the house. Before I walked in here, and you doing your podcast? Okay, call me after.
Right.
She know like she love for me to go
celebrating you.
Because she know I'm trying to do something. So like I said, we're together so much. So if y'all who don't really like your girlfriends, that's a whole nother thing. It's a whole nother topic. For all you dudes who don't really like the person you with, here lies the problem. Because if you liked her, if that's your best friend for real, you would be with her.
You're right.
You'll be with her a lot. A lot of the time, I'll be with her so much. People ask, "Where is she?"
Yeah.
Where? Oh, you bring your wife?
Hey,
I'm like to the grocery store.
We like you. We like you.
I just came to get some milk.
We really like you.
Yeah. Like what? You know what I mean? So, but it just shows how that happens there. But the whole thing is people be full of
shit, and some people be full of shit and really fulfilling somebody else's image of what they think they're supposed to be. Some of these people are not even attracted to their wives. Some of these people go out with these men.
You gotta repeat that one time. These people feel like they're what?
They're fulfilling an image of what they feel they're supposed to be in somebody else's perspective.
I hope y'all caught that for the viewer, because that was a whole bar and a podcast in itself. Because you are 100% on point. People are fully operating in a space or an idea of, or a caricature
Yep.
of something they think everybody else wants them to be or what are viewing them.
Right.
It's pure delusional.
Pure delusional.
That's crazy.
And it's it's pure delusional, and it's so manipulative, and it's so selfish. Because guess what? You're dragging somebody along in your play.
Yeah.
You're dragging somebody along.
You hired me to be a part of this cast, and I didn't even audition.
I didn't even audition. I didn't know that I'm thinking this is completely real. I've dedicated my life to your act.
We might be too good at podcasting. we might be. That was awesome. He said you put me in your play.
You put me in your play.
You hired me to play a part that I didn't even audition for.
This whole thing you put up is an
I
act.
stole my phone across. That happens every day. No matter who it happens, men or women, however it goes across the table, somebody gaslighting, manipulating, sociopath, narcissistic. People are out here operating in these spaces and taking you along for the ride. And it's so messed up because, like, there's plenty of toxic, burnt, nasty people you can do this to.
Right.
And because I am loving or take you as, I give you the benefit of the doubt, whatever the case may be, you'll drag me through the mud.
Drag me through the mud with my pure intention.
That's
my pure
crazy.
intention where I could have made somebody happy. I could have been in a relationship that was real. But you're so selfish, you wasted my life.
And not only did you waste my life, you probably scarred me in a way where now I probably need so much therapy that I can't even be right for the next person.
Bring that right along.
Bring that right along with me because of what you and I went through.
I'm scarred. And it's raw. It's raw. And then
that's
you
fire.
Are out here hanging out with your boys, but you're attracted to your boys.
Now see, that right there.
No man wants to be that much.
Right there is that. And here's the thing: they gonna hate that too.
They can hate it all they want. You getting dressed? You ain't even getting dressed for me.
You get dressed to impress the homies.
You getting dressed to impress your homeboys.
You bought the car to impress the homies. You on the block with them all day.
Giving them rides in your car.
You just see a lady at night, and while she go to work in the morning, you back on the block with the homies, laughing, smoking, kicking it. And what to think of you again? Dude, them your niggas.
That's your marriage. That's your relationship.
That's who you bonded to. That's wild.
The homies. What? I love my brothers. I love my friends. I love people I'm around. But guess what? There is a priority. But even if we're on that, like it's even outside the marriage. Like let's move it away from relationship, marriage. Let's move it to friendship. Let's move it to dedication of men to other men, saying like, nigga, I'll die for the homie. You just dedicated your life to your homie, who you might really dedicate your life. Like, nigga, that's my ride or die. I'm gonna do anything I can and will for my brother because we've been through this together. And as soon as you go down, that nigga snitched on you.
And dying for anybody other than your kids, your family, your wife or family, is absolutely insane. Now, don't get me wrong. I know that we all have relationships we come from the hood where your brothers was the dude who you're standing next to, and I get that. But when people say these things, in my mind, I'll be thinking to myself, like, how far gone are we when, for example, if I said that about not me and my wife, because I represent differently when it comes to husband and being married and being in love, but a lot of dudes would never say, I'll die for my girl.
No, you rarely hear
right?
it.
Because you'll be called a sucker. You say, nigga, we don't do nothing like that. That's crazy. Y'all wild. You weird niggas. You niggas are weird. All this stuff you would say. But if I say I'll die for the homies, nobody bat an eye.
Nobody bat an eye. But this is not even about the homie that's willing to die for the homie. This ain't about him. that's just his blind
right,
loyalty.
right.
It's about the nigga that he's dedicated to that is a fraud. This dude, this dude is a fraud that will run, leave you where you're at, leave you in a horrible situation, snitch on you, while he knows that you're completely loyal to your friendship, to your family.
Right.
But there's niggas out there that don't give a damn about you that you're loyal to.
Wow.
And they'll let you sacrifice your life for them, and they won't even.
That's deep.
It's running rampant out here.
That's deep. Wow. So it's almost like I don't want to. I always say this where I never want to feel like I'm hopeless when it comes to like, whatever it is, violence in America or violence in the hoods or gangbanging or like, the relationships or the black male and the black woman's relationship. Our children being like, being raised the right way. And, I'm always looking at these things and I'm like, man, I got to compete with, say if I talk about I do a lot of posts where I talk about God, but I also do a lot of posting where I talk about my wife and I love my wife, or whether I'm on a platform or whatever also. But I be feeling like that's, one voice. Obviously there's tons of, not tons, but obviously there's other people who talk about their wife and talk about the positives of being a married man and all that stuff like that. But you're fighting up against so much opposition,
right,
of people who do not feel like that in no kind of way, and it's hard because it's like you start to feel like, do they even hear you? And we talked about that earlier. We talked about, as long as you got a podcast or somebody want to know what Luck thinks, because not a bunch of Lucks around, or it's not a bunch of Rios around, and it like if he can do it, maybe I can. Maybe that's something I should look into. If I do like him as a person, or if I've been watching Rios for a couple of years doing podcasts, and I learned a lot about him through jokes and through him being on podcasts and more serious topics or whatever. But he's talking about his love of his wife and his family. What is it about love? What is it about his wife that can make a man express how he loves her like that? It must be some real benefits to having a partner like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I get that part of it. I get that part of it, but you try not to feel hopeless because we are fighting narratives.
Right.
Me and you could talk on the couch about our marriage and, where we used to be this kind of dudes and we changed, and then life got better as far as our wives and the union of us together. And it's a forever thing. You're forever growing and learning. So you're going to slip and fall, make mistakes. Your relationship's going to have ups and downs till you leave this earth. But we plan on being locked in forever.
Right.
Right. So that's the beauty in that. But I want people to understand the beauty in that also from the outside, who don't have a wife or a husband, who just want to be loved on from I can imagine what it's like to not be. I've been in relationships the majority of my life. Like I never was like just talk to some girls and hit a bunch of girls, dude. I've done my thing before, but for the most part, I've been in like long-term relationships.
Yeah.
Even in elementary, I was maybe 2 years with somebody. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I really was a long time to be with somebody in elementary, bro. Like
that's a whole life.
The whole time. Me and junior high, a year or two.
Yeah.
Same thing. High school, maybe 2 years, almost 3 years. Then leaving high school, and then I did like other relationships where I was long term. Me and my wife been together for almost 15 years now, almost 14, 15 years now. So I did the long term thing, so I know what that's like to be in that. But I want to also hopefully motivate people and inspire people to want that. Don't look at me and my wife as relationship goals. You don't know us. I got therapy and a bunch of stuff I'm doing to get to stay on track, get back on track, learn from toxic, triggering trauma waves I've had them past. I'm trying to work through. So don't ever look at a couple as relationship goals. But I would like to be looked at as somebody who do love his wife, respects his wife, and will do right by her.
Right.
And if that will be, and her the same. If that's enough for somebody to be like, I want that. I don't have to know the details. I'm not talking about the details of Luck and Shaz's relationship. I'm talking about them, the fact that they just love each other and want to be together.
Right.
The union of that. Cause me and whoever, you and your husband or you and your wife, cause y'all got your own things you're gonna deal with under that.
Right.
But at least have that.
And it's an uphill battle.
Yeah.
Because that person that's in that frame of mind has to make it to this channel.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
That message has to reach them, and
I think will.
I think it will. You know what I mean? Who's supposed to hit like this? The message is not for our family and friends. The message is for a complete stranger. You know, like it's for somebody in New Zealand. It's like the messaging is traveling that far that we can't base things off of, like, you can't base it off of human experience. Like, oh, that man, like it's people with a lot less. This is another thing that I say. People are out there doing less with more, doing more with less.
Yeah.
There's people out there doing more with less than what we have. Like, and hope. Like, there's a man that sacrificed his life for all of us, and saw us at the worst, and still had hope in us.
Yeah, right, right.
Exposed to all the ugly.
Right.
Exposed to all the ugly, and there's still hope. Like, so I just think, like, right now with the change, with how things are moving, the energy shift that is moving in the direction of positivity, and it's moving in the direction of real, and it's being exposed in real time.
Yeah.
You know, like
that's a great thing too.
It's being exposed in real time, and you see like these ones that are like kind of negative, they're dying out. You know what I mean? Like that shit don't last forever. You know what I mean? Like it's just, you're just feeling a time slot right now. You're just feeling a void. But guess what? That void is still gonna be there, and it ain't no match for what is real.
Yeah, people are starting to. I think people are to that. People are starting to pick up on more positive things. They want more positive things. They want more things they can feel better about, instead of like, getting depressed every time you open Instagram or some video come down your timeline that you did not need to see.
These arguments, you are this and that, you are this and that.
People put their own personal business on live,
Right.
So, yeah, you're 100% correct. I hope to be amongst some of the greats in this space to keep showing that, to uplift that and show that.
Right.
Show the positivity. So positivity, the beautifulness of just being alive. You know what I mean? And also deal with, talk about content creating and life and jokes. And even in our jokes, that's laughter, and we provide an energy that I think is always be dope. Providing that energy where we can, where it's good, not bad, just like happy, sad, laughter, all these things.
Look at LeBron James. It's people right now at this point in time in life, plenty of people actually, a number of people that will say negative things about LeBron.
Yeah, for sure.
Negative, and I'm not even
can't wait to do it.
Can't wait to do it. But look at what this dude has done. This dude is married to his high school sweetheart. Beautiful young black woman. Has a beautiful black family, 2 boys and a girl. Staying out of
no scandals,
staying out of the ugliness. I don't know what's happening behind closed doors or whatever, but he stayed out of the limelight of ugly. Right? If there's anything happening, it's not
at all.
It's not flooded in the streets. Everybody has their ups and downs. I know he's not perfect.
Right.
But me knowing how hard life is for a man, a husband, a father, and then to see this dude doing it under the microscope and being one of the greatest at something, and then playing alongside his son in the NBA.
Incredible.
Like, it's just like, I don't even care if people say, oh, he manufactured this. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. And it's people that will tear that down.
For sure.
And people will it's people that if he failed and lost his position, there would be people that would champion behind that.
For sure. And here's the thing. A lot of them are hitting now.
Right now.
And they'll be very loud if that happens. Because people, people ain't, what I'm trying to say.
Ish. I'm working on my cursor too. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it together. But this was a real conversation that was needed. You know what I mean? And talked about, because This is Relatable with Luck and Rios, and we're here being vulnerable. We're not perfect. We got our things. This episode is completely different than the last episode, but you never know what you're gonna get, and you
Yeah.
never know what is on our minds, our hearts, our spirit that is moving us to talk about. But you guys are just here. You're along for the ride, just as we are along for the ride.
Absolutely, 100%.
This is happening in real time. Like, this is not scripted. This is not, hey, Luck, talk about this and you talk about this. It's, what are your thoughts on this? What is this? How do you feel about this?
And then let that kind of drove the conversation. If you just start talking, it'll take you to all the way to. I mean, you got a couple of topics in, and I think that's the best way. It's organic, man. Yeah, we'll get to a point where it gets bigger and professional. We have topics written on the board already. We can just glance over there and see the topics or whatever, and
Boom, boom.
all those things. So, but this is just the way to do it. I have a couple more questions, but I'm not going to ask now.
Why not?
I think we should make for another pod for this.
Okay.
I'm not saying stop it. I'm just saying, like,
Whatever. Do
Gotta
it,
quit.
like, I guess. Whatever.
what? Okay, I'll ask one question.
No. You don't have to. We can
Ask
save
one
it.
question.
We can
Let me-
save it.
No, I want to ask one question.
Okay.
No. I have a.
We can save it. We can save it. I'm all good. I got my
Okay.
motion. I got my.
I'll save.
We'll save it.
Yeah, I'll save.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll save it.
Because look, we can look forward to the next episode. It's not like this is not happening. You know what I mean? Like, we don't have to rush.
So tune in next week to get. No, I'm messing with you.
Yeah, tune in this next question, because I really want to know what the hell this damn question was. But tune in to next week for our next episode. Relatable.
Are we setting days up yet?
Mondays.
So what, Mondays?
Mondays,
Is this too
9:30.
close to for we?
No.
Okay.
Mondays, 9:30.
Monday, dope for sure.
And I'll have my other schedule for the other stuff, but for our stuff, Mondays at 9:30.
Dope. Okay.
And so I think, like, a good word is good for the morning. You know what I mean? Like I think it's good for the morning, like the 9:30 before, because people get to listen to it in their car.
For sure.
Listen to it at lunch.
Yeah.
And this isn't something that, like, we're not putting things up on the screen that people have to look at. And this
No,
and that.
for sure. So
this is really just
if they want to just do audio pod to it, then yeah, for sure.
so we're on Spotify, we're on Apple,
For sure.
we're on Amazon, we're on a couple others. We'll start listing the things out, but what we got here is something good, and we'll keep pushing. We'll get better, and let's just keep rocking. You know what I mean? Like
Yes,
you said
sir.
at the beginning, consistency.
We got to keep going, and I feel like if we keep going, we'll be able to do a great service to all the people who are interested in hearing and seeing what we have to talk about. I feel like me and you have a lot of value that we can impute and bring out and talk about to the world, and I think that if we just stay on it, being consistent, stay on it, I think tons of people will be blessed by it, because I think what we're trying to do is create a safe space, first of all, to talk about whatever we want to talk about,
Right.
to laugh, to whatever you want to feel emotionally. We want to be able to bring that out of you as we are vulnerable ourselves and the things we talk about. And, we may get a podcast one day that's super serious, and then the next day it's all jokes.
Right.
But I think that's what Relatable is about, because it's many people who feel the same way. You laugh at one point of the day, you cry at another point. So I think we're that's our plans for this is really excited for what we plan on doing here on out. So we're just going to keep rocking out, keep recording, and I hope you guys love it.
Right. And okay. And then maybe somebody needed that laughter this week.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody needed that laughter this week.
Sure.
Maybe that's what was on us for that message.
Yep.
Maybe somebody next week needs this message. Maybe this week, today, this is a message. We're moving as God is moving us. And that's it. That's really it. We're not forcing nothing. We're moving in the flow. Relatable.
That's the flow.
That's the flow.
Okay.
Like water.
Water flows like this. Okay.
Or
I might be a water flow
rain.
or rain.
Like, there's multiple.
Tomato. I don't know.
Can you let me end this the right way? Jesus. No, you end it, actually. Yeah. In the show.
Yeah, so this has been Relatable. This has been a super dope episode, man. Thank you for tuning in. I don't want to do the corny, sound like everybody else when they logging off. So we're just going to log off now. Okay? Bye.